How you say his last name?
Charlie Villanueva. Yeah.
Yeah, they said that's how the quarterback for the Ravens look, or the Raiders look.
No, he's a white guy. Jared Stidham. He's a white guy.
Let's see. Is he the super? No, Derek Carr is like a super Christian. Yeah, Derek Carr is a super Christian.
Yeah. Well, so is Brock Purdy. There can only be one super Christian QB.
Well, we'll find out tonight, live. Well, it won't be on this show.
Derek Carr ain't playing. They told Derek Carr, get your shit and hit the bricks.
He'll be there in spirit.
Not on spirit though. I don't think he's paying with all the money he has. I don't think he's spending cheap plane tickets.
Probably so. You know, I seen Draymond Green get like on a commercial flight. You know that, right?
Well, you know damn well. Yeah, I think he's trying to hold on to anything he's got. Like,
no,
that's why he's doing. That's why he's doing media and all that. That's why he took that Converse money. He's trying to like save up. I think he's being smart about like the future generations of his family.
And when you got to get somewhere, it doesn't matter how you get there. Like Kanye be taking commercial flights.
But as we heard all of last year, he's a crazy man, even though we already knew that. So,
yeah, let's see how 2023 play out for Mr. West. Because
do you think he makes the comeback this year? You think we all buy back in like he does it to us? Or
I think he gonna go see God or whoever he worship.
You already said he's missing, right? We haven't heard from him in how long? Did we discuss that like a week or two ago?
Yeah, like they said, he just came out of church. Like it was a photo on the 27th that said he came out of church. How we know? That could be an old photo.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Do you believe in like doctored photos and all that?
And it was like far as hell.
You gotta have the lenses that go to be like,
yeah. And it don't make sense because he's done promos. He's done like shoot promos at church when he's left church. So I'm like, why would they do a far away shot when he's already open to like talking to them all the time? Paparazzi, whoever, his own personal paparazzi, every time he comes out of church. I'm like, that could be an old photo. So yeah, apparently his business partner said I ain't heard from him in weeks. So I don't know, man. Maybe he some Aleister Crowley shit.
What did he do this? He didn't have nothing drop this year, right? No.
Yeah, Don did 2 drop.
Oh shit, I forgot to see.
In February,
that's what
that's what I'm saying.
2022, yeah.
It's a bootleg. It's a bootleg classic, if that makes sense.
Yeah, didn't he do it with the fucking, or was that the first Donnie he tried to sell with that like speaker tool thing?
No, it was a stem player exclusive. But then shouts out to me and the other people online. We got it without the stem player.
Yeah, I think someone sent it to me. I'm like, I don't want this shit. Like, I can't get jiggy with this shit. Like,
I mean, it sounds good, but it sounds like the best way I could say it is like a Future-esque album. Like, it sounds like a Future album, but with Kanye on it.
Interesting.
Like, it's the same type of beats and all that. It just sounds like a Atlanta. It's like the 21 Savage type beat shit that goes on. And I'm trying not to curse, but
oh my God, here you go.
Yeah, that's one of the challenges I just want to do for
give me a headache already. Please don't
Happy New Year, brother. God bless you.
Because you be doing that shit when women come by like, oh, I don't mean to cuss, ma'am. I'm sorry.
No, you think it's a work, but I was on the phone last night and I was like trying not to curse. I try to be respectful.
You dag nabbit. Oh man, like heck. Like
no, it's not to that extent. It's more so me trying to be respectful. Because I seem to have a tendency where I just curse a lot for no reason. It's like I don't think it called for it. So I'm trying to work on it, man.
Well, let's hit the intro so then we can start the show.
I want a new intro. Nah.
What? back. First Banks versus Davis of 2023. That's Banks. I'm Davis. We're recapping 2022, the year that was a miserable, no good, terrible year. Personally, not that much, I'd say, in pop culture wise, which we'll be talking about our favorite movies, TV shows, and music, other miscellaneous things of the year. But Banks, what do you want to say before we get started about 2022?
I hated that year. I hate it here. That's what I'm saying. I don't really know what to say to y'all. Like, I'm not really a person that can kayfabe everything. I really hated 2022, bro. I'm definitely not repeating the same steps. I'm working on that right now. I can't do it. Won't do it.
I'm working on me.
What quarterback was that? Mike Singletary. Can't do it. Won't do it. All right, you guys that want to play.
Can't do it. Won't do it.
Won't do it. One of my favorite shoe promos ever.
Even though Mike Singletary dropped his pants in front of the locker room to be like, I'm gonna make a statement like, what the hell? Like, we're all grown men. The fuck you doing that for?
I remember that. I remember hearing about that report. I said, get him out of here. But that's your team.
Yeah, I think that's why they did get him out of there. To be honest, like he hated like Vernon Davis. Like, but then Vernon Davis later on said that like that's what made him want to improve to like shut up Mike Singletary, like to prove him wrong.
Well, also Vernon Davis at that point was 45 years old, and he didn't want to see a naked man or more naked men than usual in the locker room. So that's what I'm saying. Did he do it in the locker room or the?
Yeah. I think it was like during halftime.
Everybody
Like he pulled down his pants. Yeah. No, I think it was like during halftime. He's like, I think it was like, you're playing like shit type of like you embarrass me. Like,
so you gonna show us some? I don't get it. That's nasty.
You dropping drawers out there for this team? Like,
and he one of them old heads. He probably only wear drawers.
Oh no.
Yeah, a lot of old dudes do that commando.
I know what you're trying to say. Yeah,
that couldn't be me.
We're not going that far. I mean, we already are. I think the generation that wore basketball shorts under jeans, which was still a weird time. How often did you do that? I did that for a while.
Too many times.
Yeah. Why? Did you hoop that often to be like, I could just take these jeans off and like, because I think
I just did that as a fashion statement. Yeah, I just did it as a fashion statement. Thank you, everybody. Also, that's in the comments. Happy New Year to everybody here. I see the comments.
Doing that, I think I had to worry about like, do I have a belt so like the pants don't like slide off the shorts because like that mesh material, like, yeah. But
it was a nasty time, and then you got to think about how you would sweat during PE, do the basketball shorts, and then if you got some Levi jeans or Echo, I had Echo jeans and. I used to wear Echo. I used to wear I had some jeans too as well. Pele. So Pele jeans. I had a couple, just those 03 brands.
The irony is you don't wear jeans at all anymore.
Yeah, I haven't wore a pair of jeans. I'll take that back. I wore some for the first time in a while 2 weeks ago for work. That's it. Yeah, for work. But at the same time, they had the knee cut out. What you call them? The motorsport jeans.
Oh, you wore some Moto X jeans?
Yeah, I think that's what they were. So I just like, nah.
Nah, the Moto X jeans, like I said, they had that like vent style on the knee. You probably wore you wore some Kurt Cobain jeans is what you're saying?
I think so. And it was like, yo, it's too cold to be wearing these. Now it's hot. So I'm definitely
too cold to be wearing jeans. That's the point of wearing jeans.
Nah, I don't like how jeans feel when it's too cold. Okay. I wear sweatpants.
Yeah, I think we've established that. Yeah.
Yeah, I got a pair. Shouts out to my guy, Nostalgia Glenn. I got to talk to him. I got a couple merch from him. I got some Def Jam Fight for New York sweatpants, custom made.
Did you hear the story like when like E60 did that Michael Jordan piece about Michael Jordan Motorsports, and that one night he showed up at a gas station and there was this motorcycle gang, not like a Sons of Anarchy motorcycle gang, but like a bunch of like motorcycle enthusiasts, and they saw like Michael Jordan pull up with like fingerless gloves, sweatpants, a hoodie, and the guy's like, "You're Michael Jordan, you can't be doing this. Like, get some fucking gear. Like you need to start dressing like a biker boy."
Okay, but he took that and then he applied it to his dress pants as well.
Yeah.
And he got
that happened in 2022. Him at the All-Star game with calling everyone out, right?
Yeah, but he had actual like he had actual like a suit. So he actually had,
No,
like,
I know, but
suit.
was that one of your favorite moments of the year? Him showing up and just being like Magic Johnson, like suit up, like suit up, like come on,
That was my
pick up them
favorite.
sticks.
That was my favorite, and it's funny. I was just looking at those videos too. That was my favorite moment of the year, besides Okada showing up for Forbidden Door.
Oh,
So
yeah.
the Dynamite show, the go home show for Dynamite before Forbidden Door. Those are my only two favorite moments.
Because the crazy thing is, he was at the NASCAR event earlier in the day in North Carolina, and then he flew to where the All-Star game was. And
No, I think he was in Ohio. He was
wherever the NASCAR event was,
Yeah.
is what I'm saying. Like, and then he showed up at the event again, lit as
No, I'm tripping. I'm sorry to cut you off. I think he was in Florida and then Daytona Beach. I think he was at Daytona Beach.
That would make sense, because if it is Daytona, the Daytona 500 is always in February. So yeah. Either way, like that's what you can do when you're Michael Jordan. Just get on a private jet and like.
But the thing that had me rolling is the fact that no, I haven't seen it yet, man. That's whoever got the link to Noah that's listening to this, go ahead and send it to us, please. I would love to watch that on New Year's Day. But the funny thing about that was everybody was like, "Oh, he saw gambling in the locker room," which is still like, huh? They was gambling during halftime, which happens. But the fact that they caught it on film, everybody said, "Oh, he saw that and said bet and got on the jet."
He's on the stars like, "What you got here?"
Because he wasn't scheduled to be there.
Yeah, it was for the 75 players.
He wasn't scheduled.
They say he didn't like turn his invitation.
He just didn't want to show up.
He showed up like it's Sting. Like Michael Jordan just shows up. Like,
that's why the pop was crazy, because he wasn't scheduled to be there. Because you see, they had a couple people on the screen, the Summer Jam screen, like Scotty and all that, like his biggest
Scotty Pippen was like, "Oh shit!" Like academics when the Migos got up, like, "Oh shit!" Like, I've been talking shit about this dude the last 2 years. Like, let me get out of here.
Was Zeke there? More than likely, he was there with that weird ass smile. I failed already, but I think he there. I gotta look. I don't think Zeke was there, but I know that nasty man Karl Malone wasn't there. That prick wasn't there. There was a couple people that wasn't there, but Jordan wasn't scheduled to be there, and then it's just the timing. They said, "Oh, he saw the gambling and said bet," and showed up, and that's why he got the biggest pop.
So Mary J. Blige, she said that.
I understand what he did there. I ain't mad at him.
He did with my hug.
Oh no, I definitely would have did that to Mary J. Yeah, I'm for sure. Let me be a hug dude in that instance.
Yeah, and then he saw Luka Doncic and went like, "My boy, my dear boy." How you doing?
Somebody was talking about that the day before yesterday. It was like, "Why you like Luka so much?" And then obviously we see Luka putting up like 50 to 60 points.
He's the number one Jordan athlete now.
Obviously, when you putting up 50 to 60 points a game,
I mean, he's got the signature shoe. That might be a belated best of the year for me. Even though I don't watch as much NBA as I used to, but Luka Doncic taking his team all the way to the Western Conference Finals, kicking Chris Paul out of the East semis after they thought they were going to be able to run it back. I mean, the West semis, I should say, and then and what he did the other night again, like him doing again the Jordan, like catch your own rebound at the free throw. Just he threw that shit, like caught it, and then celebrates like like.
Essentially, right now with him, it's the '86 Bulls team.
It's just him. Yeah.
Yeah, they'll make the play in, but it's like it's nobody. Like Christian Wood is a good player, but I can't. I think JaVale is with the Suns, but they don't really have enough for him to go deep into the playoffs. So that's the reason why he's currently scoring champ and probably in the season being scoring champ.
And probably still won't win the MVP.
No, they trying to give it to Jokic again. I'm like, all right, bro. If y'all give it to Jokic one more time, I swear, the NBA.
I swear to God, do that shit again. Do that shit again.
Yeah, because I feel like Joe Embiid got robbed twice, but definitely last year. The first time I understand because he missed a lot of games last year. I feel like he was runaway. This year, it's like, dude, it's Jason Tatum. That's MVP. They got the number one record in the league right now. They got number one in defense, and I think offensive efficiency as well. So it's like, there you go. And they doing all this without, Nia's long ex-husband or whatever. Yeah, he on the couch right now.
As they said, a substitute teacher coach. Because I think people
who's
got on
pretty
him when I
good.
saw that comment where they said like he just lets them do what they want. But it's also like that is actually kind of good coaching in today's game. Like I think more coaches overthink, especially if you have like 2 to 3 star players. Like these guys will figure it out on their own compared to like how the Nets seem to be better without Steve Nash, because Steve Nash I don't think was qualified to be a coach anyway. But second, like I think Kevin Durant and Kyrie would just be like, let us just be us and everything else will work out.
Well,
But
I will
speaking of
bring up this
MVPs,
comment. Yeah. Can I talk about that really quick? And I won't hold this up with NBA talk. No, I understand what you mean, Vin. And he should be, just because right now, they on the 11-game winning streak and it's, Kevin Durant. But this time, I think they'll go by the record, because the Nuggets didn't have the best record in the league last year. But it's hard to argue against the Celtics record, and then based on the controversy that happened with their coach. So they'll probably give it to Jason Tatum because of all those combinations. But they coach should be coach of the year. But probably end up being the Nets coach now because of the 11-game winning streak, and if they continue to win. But, he over Giannis, I'm sorry. And it's like, if you over him for MVP and he having another career year, you're doing something right.
Mm-hmm. But speaking of MVP, last year we gave out our first MVP of the Year award to John Cena for the amazing year he had last year in 2021, from Fast 9 to the Suicide Squad, even something like Vacation Friends. But most importantly, he had the Summer of Cena coming back to WWE. He had a month-long program with Roman Reigns. And he just basically won the year. It was announced that he'd be in Argyle, the Matthew Vaughn movie, which may or may not come out, as we discussed.
Yeah, we keep talking about that movie. We the only one keeping it alive.
I'm the only one keeping it alive. Yeah, but so John Cena was our MVP last year. Even though there were some good frontrunners at the start, we had Zack Snyder because he had the Snyder Cut come out, and Army of the Dead. Shohei Ohtani was killing it last year. He killed it this year too. Kwame Brown was at one point a front runner because he was just killing.
You're talking about 2021, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he just dropped off the face of the earth. But John Cena, by far, from start to finish, was the MVP of 2021.
Yeah, no, Kwame Brown is in, South Georgia. So, yeah, the face of the earth.
So this year, again, I think there was only one clear runaway candidate, and that's Tom Cruise, right?
He brought back cinema. So, yeah, he made people decide, made people realize that, you can get streaming, but why pay? Why pay for or not pay for? You just paying for your internet. So why not pay for? Why watch a movie for free where you can go to the theaters and pay $21 and get to see it on the big screen?
Well, not just that. So it starts with, again, we on this show the last 2 years we discussed his pipe bomb promo about wear your masks because we're saving Hollywood. We're putting food on people's tables. We're keeping the industry alive. He went full Dusty Rhodes, like Hard Times. And then last year, again, it's like he's still postponing Top Gun Maverick because half the theaters are open and he wants a full wide release. Even though he's in the midst of making Mission Impossible, Dead Reckoning, 7 and 8, I should say, as well. But this year, the movie comes out. It kills it. It's the highest grossing film of the year, $1.8 billion. So he was right. In the end, he won because he has the highest grossing movie of the year. He beat The Batman. He beat Doctor Strange, which still somehow shocked me with its box office haul of 900 and something million.
We knew that was going to happen.
It's still beating Avatar, even though Avatar is trying to climb up the ladder. But obviously, the year's over. It might surpass it total, but the highest grossing film of the year will be Top Gun Maverick. Again, a phenomenal film that you and I discussed, and we'll get to that in movies of the year. But Tom Cruise has the PSA before the film where he's thanking you for coming to the theater to see the film. They spent all this time making it so you can watch it in the theater and all that. And he then drops 2 videos. One is him on the plane, which is him saying, thank you for coming to the theater and supporting the movie. It was so great to see how people turned out. And here's a little stunt from Mission Impossible 7, 8 that we're doing. And then the Mission Impossible trailer leaks. The Dead Reckoning Part 1 trailer leaks, and that's phenomenal. And it shows that this man 60, who turned 60 in 2022, is still going Yeah, that's the me
I didn't
and
know
Cal
that.
talked about this yesterday. But yeah, he turned 60, and he's jumping off of planes. He's riding motorcycles off cliffs. That video just dropped this past week of the stunt for Mission Impossible 7 with him riding a motorcycle off the cliff. What'd you think of that?
He's a marketing genius. Low key, I just thought about that. The fact that he's taking it back to the old school marketing where I start promoting a movie a year. Oh, it's in post production. Cool. Let's start promoting it now. This is like actually really good promotion because the trailer leaked. Even though I always think these studios are putting it out because it's like how else is people getting the footage?
It leaked the week before Top Gun Maverick came out, though, was thing because it was supposed to be paired with Top Gun Maverick. If you go see Top Gun Maverick, it's the last trailer before his PSA. So it did leak, but I think they did want to get people hyped of like, there's a new Tom Cruise movie coming out, and don't forget the other Tom Cruise movie coming out next year. Like, the more
Right.
like some
So
of that trailers leaked on purpose for them to gain momentum, to gain steam. Like the whole like the bad cam footage of Jonathan Majors as Kang and Ant-Man, and then we got the full trailer. So now we were even more hyped to see him, and like, oh shit, he's gonna fuck these people up.
yeah, I got the 1 minute trailer still on my phone, or that 2 minute trailer, whatever it is that leaked. Like I said, Disney real good for that. Oh, the trailer leak, but yeah, you take like 2 or 3 days to take it down. Okay, got you.
Yeah,
So
because they know when the actual trailer drops, they're still gonna get those views.
right, that's what it is. It's like, okay, cool. They just want to test the waters and just see if people
Yeah,
are, gonna resuscitate to it. And that's what I think Tom Cruise is doing now, because when that trailer leaked, people were just saying, like, all right, this is it. Like, I'm all for this. And then
yeah.
when
You
the
and I
trailer,
discussed it. We did a whole emergency pod about it, and you're like, it's insane how it's kind of going like Lawrence of Arabia, with like him in the desert, and then it's him doing these crazy stunts on a train, and he's running in the middle of Saudi Arabia is what it looks like. He's going all out for this film, which again they made during the middle of a pandemic.
yeah, and with this movie, you definitely got to see it in theaters. Like with Top
Yeah.
Gun, I saw it the way I
Same.
saw it, but with Mission Impossible, yeah, that's a theater movie right there. That's IMAX, so that's $25.
Yeah. But he did that PSA, and then the PSA in the last 2 weeks, he did the one of him jumping out of the plane, skydiving, and saying again, thank you for seeing Top Gun Maverick. We're still finishing the next 2 Mission Impossibles. But let me tell you something, Top Gun Maverick is now on Paramount Plus. So make sure you subscribe. Basically, make sure you subscribe. You pay the 5, you pay the 10. So you can watch Top Gun Maverick at home. And it's like him free falling, like he's like we discussed, like he's in the Power Rangers opening sequence, like keep on falling, like whoa. And he again, like he won the year. He shut people up with like, this guy's old, he's finished, but he still matters. I mean, his peers are going to streaming, like Tom Hanks, Denzel Washington, Will Smith, even. And Tom Cruise is kind of the last man standing. And the only person who's kind of on his back, or like, running behind him in second place, is Keanu Reeves in terms of like that old man action star, because John Wick 4 is just as anticipated as Mission Impossible 7.
Yeah, it just won't do of course, it won't do as much as Mission Impossible 7.
No, in terms of like Keanu
It's
Reeves
gonna
is
do
still doing
numbers.
a lot of these. Yeah, and Keanu Reeves is still doing a lot of these stunts is the thing too. I mean, he's not jumping out of planes, but he's doing amazing action choreography. Like,
Isn't he about
that no one else.
55 now?
Yeah, he's only a few years younger than Tom Cruise is a thing, but also like a few inches taller. So maybe that's why Tom Cruise is still pissed.
And the thing is, with both of these movies, people, they were supposed to come out last year, 2021 as well. I know Mission Impossible was supposed to come out last year. Hell, we were supposed to be on part 2 this year. And John Wick 4 was supposed to come out like 2021, if I'm not mistaken.
No, it's supposed to be this year, but with the way The Matrix was finishing, then the pandemic got in the way, so they waited for that to clear up, and that's why it's 2023 instead of 2022.
Right there. So these movies, especially part 1 of Mission Impossible, have been in post-production, if not completed, for a while now. Like especially John Wick 4. That's probably been done for months.
Oh no, I think we talked about this a while back. Maybe like Chris McQuarrie says they're still, in a way, shooting scenes for Mission Impossible 7 while they're shooting 8. Like, because it's back-to-back productions. He's like, there's still stuff I can add to part 1 that I'm filming for part 2, technically filming on the part 2 schedule in terms of like stuff that we might need to reshoot if that didn't come out clearly or all that. But
and obviously they gave him an unlimited budget, because if it was any type of franchise, or if it wasn't him, they would be like, yo, we over budget. Because at this point, without them saying it, they over budget, even though they just giving him the money, especially after the Top Gun Maverick thing. So maybe this is the genius of it. Like, I want to reshoot this stuff, but I know Top Gun Maverick got to make some money, so I can get the funding to reshoot this stuff, because obviously he wanted the producers on there. So if Top Gun Maverick didn't make as much money as it did, they probably would have still got, significantly increased budget just so he can add more stunts to it. But the fact that the movie made money, Paramount was like, oh yeah, no. He's still a draw for us. Go ahead. Put him on.
No, I was about to say, I think because Cal and I watched that featurette, and it's crazy. Like, they built two different sets for him to test out this motorcycle jump. And Cal's like, look at all the money they're spending on these jumps. And I'm like, I guarantee, because it was like September of 2020, he's like, my movie's going to make the money back. Spend the money now, because you're going to get it back in one shot. Like, when Maverick comes out, you're going to recoup all this money you're spending on this stunt. Like, it'll be worth it. So he just like, build the sets. You'll get your fucking money back. And like I said, he's the producer, so like he gets a percentage of the back end as well. So even if he's like, I'm putting my money back into this stunt, it's well worth it. And also, it's really, besides Transformers, Mission Impossible's Paramount's number 2 franchise. Like, a Universal will have Fast and the Furious, and then the Minions and Despicable Me, and other franchises they've been trying to build up. Disney has Marvel, Star Wars, now Avatar. So it's no shock that Paramount's willing to put all they can into making Top Gun and now Mission Impossible a success. And the last Mission Impossible's Top Gun was Tom Cruise's highest grossing film at $800 million. So they were like, all right, we can put more money into this. I think budget, because it's 2 films, is 300 something total, or around like 350, because it's back to back.
Because it's all practical.
Yeah. Well, and they probably do like the CGI to like clean stuff up and all that, but they try to get as practical as they can. I watched Fallout the other day, and you can tell like there's bad CGI in the film when it's the helicopter chase, but it's like
that movie again. I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna give it one more chance, because there it goes again.
That movie's great.
Because I'm not saying it's bad. I just got to try it one more time, because something keeps making me say, or something is like, yo, just try to watch it, just because I saw you tweet out Bill Simmons podcast and they talk about it.
Yeah, the Rewatchables did that. Yeah,
I'm not watching that. I'm not listening to an hour and 30-minute podcast about them watching it until after I watch the movie. So, and then I saw a thumbnail about it on YouTube, so I'm like, maybe Universe or somebody trying to tell me to watch the movie again. So
yeah, you should. Again, it's a great movie. We discussed it on an early episode about how you weren't into it, and I was just so pissed off. But
you're gonna watch it again, man.
But he won the year to me again. He did some great. I mean, and he also has 3 movies in the works. That's what I was pulling up. Him and Chris McCoy are teaming up for a musical, an action thriller, and then that Les Grossman movie. Remember his character from Tropic Thunder? So like, those are potentially their next 3 projects after.
They've been talking about that Rex Grossman movie for like since the movie came out, Tropic Thunder.
Yeah, he did that whole dance routine with Jennifer Lopez at the VMAs. I think a year or 2 after Tropic Thunder came out. But I think this is like them finally realizing like, now's the time we can capitalize on this.
Not really. I'd rather get a Tropic Thunder 2, and I don't even want that.
I think there will be some connection with Tropic Thunder 2, but as we've discussed numerous times, because it is in a way connected to Jamie Foxx's All-Star Weekend, in terms of like that movie is canceled before it can come out due to Robert Downey Jr.'s portrayal of a Mexican man. Tropic Thunder.
It's not even that. They just Jamie Foxx that's what he recently. He said they can't get a distributor
because of that. Because of like he went full in. Yeah. He's saying he's having a hard time because of like and I think Jamie Foxx even plays like, I think he does whiteface, which again, I never have a problem with people doing whiteface.
Also, it's like
the funniest thing.
They shot that 8 years ago. It's like at this point,
3 or 4 years ago. Yeah, because it's about the Steph Curry.
No, 8 years ago. They shot that a long time ago. You sure it's 3 years ago? I swear they shot that like 8 years ago.
It's either 3 or 4. It's because it's when did the LeBron and Curry were the captains in 2019 or 2020?
They've been captains a couple times. No, it wasn't 2020.
So it had to be 2019 then.
Because he's been talking about the idea for like 8 years.
Yeah, but and the other thing too is that Jeremy Piven is the co-star, and like Jeremy Piven's kind of out of here as well due to his allegations.
He'd be on Mike Tyson podcast, but that's what most
people do. You can be on
do.
a podcast, but like you can't be cast in a movie or show anymore.
Unless you know everything you know about podcasting. Anyhow.
Oh, no, that's the thing. Like podcasting is where the canceled people go, or the people who can't get jobs anymore. Like Anna Faris started doing a podcast because she wasn't being cast in anything other than her CBS TV show.
Yeah, which isn't a problem. I think she's just trying to like outshine her ex-husband.
Yeah.
I was in Scary Movie.
But like with a podcast though, like this man's, even though I didn't watch Jurassic World Dominion, like that movie still made $1 billion. So you can't outshine that man. He's also got a whole Amazon TV show.
Namor said no more fake Latins in 2023. I agree with that.
But like I said, so Tom Cruise made $1 billion with this movie. And again, it's a great movie when we get into the movies of 2022. So it lived up to the hype. He's getting us hype for his next 2 movies. And then he has 3 movies announced where it's like, this man can't stop, won't stop. Like, so do you think he's
I'm not going to egg you on. You did your thing.
No, I'm saying, do you think he's rightful as the MVP of the year?
Probably. I can't think of anybody else.
Yeah, that's.
I'm gonna tell y'all about this episode right now. Let me give a disclaimer to everybody. I'm not really gonna go against anything Davis has said, just because 2022 was such a blink to me, even though it just ended yesterday. That it's like, yeah, I didn't really care for a lot of stuff. I'm gonna let y'all know off the bat. I didn't care for a lot of things, man. So yeah, I'm gonna agree with you. So this might be a bland show. I apologize ahead of time. On my end, I'll say it's gonna be bland.
But I can't like think of someone who won as much, or again, like what people should say, and what people always say is like the MVP should be like who is valuable. Like you take this guy off this team, are they still good? And you take Top Gun Maverick away from Hollywood, like it shows like, oh, the movie theaters are done for real, or that Marvel movies are always gonna win, because like I said, that means Doctor Strange would have been the highest grossing film of the year until Avatar came out, because even Wakanda Forever didn't surpass Doctor Strange, and the Batman stopped at 770 because I think people didn't want to sit through 3 hours of the Batman after seeing it once. They're like, we'll wait. And that already had the thing of like, it'll be on HBO Max within a month too, which helped its popularity, but not at the box office. Even though it did have the critical acclaim to go with it.
Right.
Because I think I can segue into the movies of 2022 now. What's your movie of 2022?
The Batman. Even though I love Wakanda Forever, I think the perseverance of it, the story, how they put that together basically last minute. So to make a script that long, it's not easy. First of all, it's not easy to make a script in general. So yeah, I got to applaud Ryan Coogler for even being able to put a new script together in a certain amount of time, and they still drop in November, because we thought it was going to be pushed back until this year, but Disney was like, nah, they was emphatic about November. So between the production hell that they had to go through, I mean, obviously, speaking of MVP, you lose the MVP of your team.
Yeah.
Like this ain't, and I'm not saying this in a bad way, this ain't like they lost a co-star or somebody like that, all right? Like that's still bad, don't get me wrong. But when you lose the Black Panther, it's kind of hard to be like, yo, we still gonna make this movie. Because at first I was like, well, the movie's canceled now, and they was like, no, we still gonna put out a movie. I'm like, huh? And then we're not gonna recast T'Challa. It's like, okay, so, and I would have been fine if they did it, but at the same time, I do respect the fact that they didn't, because you want to keep his legacy forever, even though his legacy would have been fulfilled anyway, and it is fulfilled. So if they would have recasted him, it would have been like, nah. But at the same time, somebody probably would have got like heat for being the new T'Challa. And it's like, damn, bro, I just want to pay my rent. But
not so much as that. I think it would be like they'd have it's like you don't want to be the coach that replaces Bill Belichick when he leaves the Patriots. Like that's like the hardest job to do. Like
somebody got to do it.
Yeah, I like one of the famous ones to me is like the Richard Harris, who was Dumbledore in the first two Harry Potters, passed away after the second one, and they replaced him with Michael Gambon. And to me, like I don't think Michael Gambon's that as good as Richard Harris was, but he still does a good job. And that's a tough thing. Like either you kill the character off as well, but obviously you couldn't do that because Dumbledore's a part of the whole series of books, so you just replace him with a different actor. And that's always how kind of Tom Cruise has been. I mean, I'm sorry, Tom Cruise. Hollywood has been with, like this person either won't come back for the sequel, so they'll put a new actor in, or that character doesn't come back at all. Famously, like Terrence Howard is replaced by Don Cheadle, or what?
That ain't too hard to replace Terrence Howard because Terrence Howard plays Terrence Howard and everything. That's why when he said retire, I said hooray.
Yeah.
I said okay. I did the Tyler Creator. Okay.
But no, I think you're right in terms of like Wakanda Forever. It was good. Like I said, I only saw it the one time, and it is a movie. It was hard to watch in terms of it does well with grief and loss and paying homage to Chadwick Boseman, and the story still works itself. It is a great action movie, and Tenoch Huerta is great as Namor. I know people had hold their anger at Letitia Wright. But again, as we discussed with Van and Eve, is he a villain? He ain't a villain to me.
I wasn't in most of that episode, remember? I was just towards the end. But
I mean, like, he ain't a villain to me. He's doing, like, he's protecting his people.
It's true, but it's the way he go about it. And then that's when we thought of the whole racial.
What do you mean? He went after the government is what he was doing. He didn't go after them until they came after. Like, he brought the war to us. Like,
but then he like, oh, I want y'all resources too, to help my people. But at the same time, I want the African resources. That's why everybody thought the racial war was going to pop off with this movie.
No. His thing was like, we have our own resources down here. They're trying to take my resources. So if they take mine, I'm going to need yours, is what he was saying. So that's why you got to stop.
Why not we just gang up on America and take their...
That's what he was trying to do a little bit, remember?
Yeah, but the sister, she was just like, nah. Well, the mom was like trying to negotiate peace.
Yeah. No, she was... No, I mean, Angela Bassett gives an amazing performance, but she was a terrible coach in that movie. Because Cherie's this one would be like, hey... There. Oh, because of what happened the other day?
No, they just shouldn't eat underwater. Well, he got his ass beat. You could tell. I done failed again. He got whooped. He got cooked because just want to apologize. Hey, first of all, I'm not going to even say the trend that's going on TikTok. You kids are fucking morons, yo. I hate y'all kids, not Davis. I'm talking about y'all younger kids in that. Like, why would you play with something like that, especially with her or anybody in general? Like, that's how you know, hey, man, never mind. Because I'm about to get more about how people look at celebrities. That's how you know people don't look at them as humans. Like, oh, they played their death. Thank you for changing that, too. I was just about to change it. But, nah, she needed, it's her trying to coach. And the pops ain't there, but the pops been gone for years. The son ain't there.
Yeah, I was about to say.
But if they could have brought somebody back from the dead, Ike would have sufficed. She could have Shuri just ended up seeing a fucking brunch looking dude. I failed again. This ain't gonna work. I'm trying not to cuss people, but it ain't gonna work as a challenge to myself.
You're saying like they bring back Lawrence Fishburne as Ike Turner. He goes like, "Here's what you need to do. You need to go up to him and be like."
Yeah, you see, you feel that? That's how you
go back to the ocean. Go back.
Because when they brought up,
basically, she does that in a way because Killmonger kind of serves that purpose. Killmonger is like, I mean, again, spoiler, but like Michael B. Jordan comes back with a cashmere robe, being like, "Ain't you trying to kill this man?" And she's like, "That is not the way." He's like, "You know it to be true." He starts speaking like he's the emperor. Like
he was dressed like a widow auntie that just drink wine every day. Like the rich auntie that comes to like the cookouts and all that, as they say on Twitter.
It's like, think about it. Yeah. Your brother was weak.
He's sitting in the seat like this. I'm saying, all right, it's the cashmere for me. I said, what is this? You ain't no killer.
Hey, cousin, what you trying to do? Ain't you trying to kill this man who killed your mother? And she's like, I like the fact that she's about to take that hit. I like that heel turn that she took, but she didn't go all the way through it. No, that's the thing. Like when she shows up to M'Baku and he's like, "This ain't you." She's like, "Fuck you. This is me." Like, she's like, "You pussy." It's like, "No, I'm not." Like, what do you mean? Like, it's like when I get this man, I'm gonna fucking kill this man. I'm gonna put him in a body bag. Like,
they shouldn't have let him, bro.
She burns this man. She just goes like, and like he's like, "My back, like
I thought he was already dehydrated, and then
she like almost ripped off his wings on his ankle. Like that to me, I was like, don't do that, because he was legit like, like he was Derek Rose, like my leg, like
You ever flew close to the sun?
He's not Icarus, come on.
But that's what I'm saying. He had a couple shots when he was close to the sun. Go to Cuckoo Khan.
The flying serpent god.
The flying serpent god. I can't even do that.
I'd say Tenoch Huerta is in my probably top 10 favorite performances of the year, because he is charming. He kind of does try to play a Bond villain somewhat, but he is like that sensitive hero who is the one like you should be rooting for in the end, because he's just about protecting his land and protecting his people.
I'm sorry, I had to put that comment up. I love y'all. We try not to put a lot of comments up because we trying to just get through this. But that's hilarious what Ben just said. If y'all know about Bulletproof Wallets, the cover with Ghostface, that's actually really hilarious. That's all. That's for the old heads. I'm sorry.
No, say like, so we had 3 Marvel movies come out. We had Multiverse of Madness, Thor: Love and Thunder.
Trash. Or Thor: Love and Thunder was okay. It was okay.
No, first of all, Multiverse of Madness, I think, is the better Marvel movie of the year.
Trash.
No, it's great.
You the only person that liked that movie. Dog, tell me what was entertaining other than when they was going through the different color schemes. That was it.
I love Sam Raimi's camera tricks. I thought it had a great balance of MCU comedy and, most importantly, MCU horror. They got as close as they could with trying to be scary and play on those horror tropes without actually doing it. Because again, they are Marvel, so they'll never go that far. But I think they played their hand and like, this is as close we'll get to something that is horror. I thought Elizabeth Olsen was great as a villain. Talk about like villain of the year. She's the villain of the year.
Yeah.
When she whispers into that dude's ear, like, and he like backs away. And again, it's all for kids that aren't real, as they say, like, your children are imaginary. Like,
but when you tell her that, she like cuts you up like Swiss cheese.
Yeah. She turns into Victoria, 2002. Like, don't say that. Like, I ain't the lady to mess with. Like, she goes like full like like. But I think it was the best Benedict Cumberbatch has been as Doctor Strange, with the exception of Infinity War. Because the first Doctor Strange is an okay.
He want to go through the multiverse right now. I read that story this morning.
Stop it.
Man, he trying to like, there is no plantation.
Stop it.
He's trying to become a Jedi. There is no plantation. There was no plantation.
Is no. You do not know. Well, yeah, you can just be Doctor Strange. Like, I'm going to make people forget that you're Spider-Man. He's like, what? Like,
I'm going to make you forget that my family owned a plantation in Barbados.
I like Wong in it. Wong is great in Multiverse of Madness. Because he gets.
I got a friend that reminds me of Wong. Supreme. He don't never show up for work, but he wanted.
He showed up to work in this movie. That's the whole point.
He didn't want to. He was like, "See, this is why I'm calling out." No, but you can tell he wanted to call out when she showed up at the temple. He's like,
"I'm not even supposed to be here today." From Clerks, that's him. You think
he ran out of PTO?
Nah. I think it's also a great love story of him and the other Rachel McAdams from the multiverse when he tells her, "I love you in every universe." I love that. And they open up to why Strange is the way he is. Yeah, I'm a romantic, okay? Which when you thought Thor: Love and Thunder was good, and Thor: Love and Thunder is all about a relationship that shouldn't work.
Yeah, he wanted to get his old work back.
Yeah.
I understand that. As a person that always want to get their old
work back. It's the same thing in Multiverse of Madness because she's married now.
But she's dead.
She's married now. No, she's not.
In one universe, ain't she gone?
No.
Oh, yeah.
In the one
married,
multiverse,
in the
he's
other
gone.
Universe, she didn't know.
She didn't know. Gone. So that's why he's like, I'm going to get alternate universe me's girl because he's gone.
That's not how the game is played. You can't do that.
It is. Mm-hmm. That's what he's trying to say. Like, listen, you and the other universe is taken. come with me. We could have had something special. Like,
No, not in this one. Because he technically can't stay because he's supposed to be dead in that one. Because Professor X just like
I don't think it works like Back to the Future. If that's what you're trying to think.
That's the problem I have with Marvel. There we go. That's the problem I have with Marvel and time travel. They should do like Back to the Future.
No, because
like if you mess up something here, it messes up a ripple effect somewhere else. I love that concept. It makes more sense.
I think that will happen at some point, though.
No, it won't, because now we passed the multiverse type stuff. Well, for the most part, we passed it. Because essentially everything is just open now. No, because Deadpool 3 is now showing that everything is open. Which is unfortunate that it got to be Deadpool that makes that theory seem more relevant.
Well, no, Spider-Man No Way Home showed it. And everyone shit on that movie for that. Like, because again, they brought back Willem Dafoe and Alfred Molina and the CGI ghosts of Reese Ifans and Thomas.
And that's time travel, but then it's like it's a multiverse where people about to forget.
It's not time travel. It's alternate universe.
That is time travel.
No, it isn't. It's two different concepts.
Hold on, now I got to get geekish. They came back. I'm about to be fake Neil deGrasse Tyson. They came back at the very moment they about to die. They came to a different timeline.
It's portals. It's like Stargate. It's not fucking time travel.
But then now they switched up and they don't die. That's time travel.
It's not time travel. Time travel is Endgame, and that's why everyone hates
and
the first 2 hours.
And that was horrible.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was, because Gamora is in this world when she died in that world.
But she can. That's the thing. She can exist because the other Gamora is gone. That's their time travel makes more sense that way. We'll get to that when we see Guardians.
I'm not watching Guardians.
That's what they're saying. Yeah, you are.
No, why? Why should I watch Guardians of the Galaxy? Anybody in this chat besides Davis, who I'm talking to right now, why should I watch that crap when it comes out? Why?
It's probably going to be a top 5 movie of the year. That's why.
It is time traveling, bro. Y'all don't understand how time travel works. Watch Back.
You don't
explain. No, that's exactly how it works. Watch Back to the Future.
You don't understand. Oh my god, you sound like a stupid motherfucker right now. Haven't you seen Time Cop?
They did it better, and that's a 20-plus-year-old movie.
No, because even in Time Cop, he goes back to the world where like his wife is still alive, even though she dies.
And they call.
I understand why he goes back to her, because that's Mia Sauer from First Bueller. Like I understand going back for her.
But did it not cause problems?
Yeah, it always causes problems. That's why it's a stupid idea.
But then in Marvel, it doesn't cause problems because they still win.
Universe, and they're not using time travel. It's different Earths. Alternate universe is different from time travel.
No, it's the same concept.
No, it's not. We are not going to keep talking about this. Why is the Batman your movie of the year? Because we spent 2 different pods.
Because apparently that's supposed to be about alternate universes and time travel too, since they the same thing.
That's just someone else. That exists in its own world completely.
Oh, because DC said because now this is his own set universe, but then yet we about to get another probably Batman project, or we were supposed to get another Batman project with Michael Keaton, because Michael Keaton is in the Flash, but then now he might not be in the Flash. Then he's supposed to be in Batwoman. You see how this works?
Yeah, don't forget Ben Affleck came back for Aquaman 2, and they said that might not even make it. But blame that on Warner Discovery. Don't blame that on the guys who take.
I don't blame that on Warner Discovery. I blame that on James Gunn, even though he got bosses too.
Yeah, Warner Discovery is what I'm saying. They're the villains of the year. Those are the real heels of the year.
You might be right.
Because they hired James Gunn. They didn't have to hire James Gunn. They like James Gunn's work on 2 things, and they both involve John Cena, which we'll get to a little bit later. But like, they were like, James Gunn is the guy who made 2 projects that seem to have universal acclaim, which is what we're trying to do, because we're trying to get away from the stigma of like everything's so messy and convoluted. Even though technically Peacemaker exists in a world that already was created, which is David Ayer's Suicide Squad, but James Gunn kind of acknowledges that with Jai Courtney's Captain Boomerang, Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn, and Joel Kinnaman's Rick Flag, but obviously Viola Davis, who exists in every Marvel project, every DC project, as we saw with Black Adam.
But yeah, it's supposed to be. Never mind.
But there won't Viola Davis won't be Amanda Waller in the Batman is what I'm saying. Like that's it. Like they'll cast a different. They won't.
Because they saying now. I know they saying they leaving the Matt Reeves universe alone, but how we know?
Yeah,
knowing them, they going no. We should do this instead.
Because I think James Gunn wants to build a legit universe and wants to keep the Matt Reeves one going. But what did I say almost 3 years ago with this whole Matt Reeves Robert Pattinson thing?
It's a one and done deal.
I said that, and even though they did announce a sequel and that Reeves and Pattinson would be returning, but what did I say from the whole time? I'm like, this might be a one and done.
It's not a one and done, but it's gonna be a 2025 thing.
Yeah, but I'm still saying there is somewhat potential. I mean, I called my shot with Justin Lin on the first day of Fast X, and that proved to be right. I spent the last 2.5 years talking about Dwayne Johnson, and Black Adam proved that right. So if I'm right with this Black Adam and with this Pattinson prediction that he was only going to do one movie, then you really have to look at me like,
no, it's going to happen because they don't want to recast again.
Even though I don't want it to, because I would like to see, after rewatching the Batman last night and this morning, technically, I want to see this story keep going.
I think it's good for maybe 1 or 2 movies. That's it.
Yeah. I think it just plans to be a trilogy, and then James Gunn has his own idea of a Batman, whether that involves, like, I think he hinted at Damian Wayne or a Batman that's in a Justice League.
So he could make it full of just cursing, obscenities, and stuff like that. That's
okay, because he does that with certain characters that don't have.
He do that with every movie.
He's doing it with the characters that no one cared about.
Is it? So why would I want you to do it with characters I care about? Like, let's say he do the.
No, he's saying like that way. Now that I have the characters that have all this rich history and this cachet, I don't have to use the tricks of like how do I make them stand out, cussing and violence and all that. Like again, the Guardians of the Galaxy didn't matter until he's like, well, these are the bash, guys and girls who like cuss and do this and that, and same thing with Peacemaker. Like this is a dude who fucks people up, and it's like.
They stopped mattering after the first movie. I liked them in Infinity War. Yeah, Infinity War is the only time I've liked them. That's the only time I liked them, just because the whole banter with Star-Lord and Iron Man. That's the only time I liked it, because he just basically called him a moron.
What am I supposed to say? Jesus.
Jesus. That's what I'm saying.
Chris Pratt does serve Jesus, so
does he?
Yeah. He gave that speech at like the VMAs 2 years ago, or 2 or 3 years ago. Where he's like, "Thank you to the Lord. I know I really shouldn't be saying that, but I am thankful for everything He has done for me and for my family."
Right. And I said, "Why shouldn't you say that? See, Hollywood."
He's saying like Hollywood doesn't want religious people.
But then he got in trouble from one of the parties a couple years ago. Him and Ann. I don't know. I remember something about that. They said allegedly they'd be having with some of them parties. I'll just say that.
Oh, them swinger parties? Well, don't forget he's with Arnold Schwarzenegger's daughter.
He got a daughter?
Arnold Schwarzenegger, yeah.
It's not Raquel Gonzalez?
No.
She looked like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
No, I remember the secret child he had with the nanny was a boy.
Oh, that's the one that look exactly like him, but he Mexican.
Yeah.
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 Okay. Well, shouts out that's the one he had with what's her name, Maria Shriver?
Yeah.
The Kennedy kid.
Yeah, her mother was a Kennedy, but her obviously the mother married someone who wasn't. So.
She still got that loan money. I know that.
What was your favorite thing about the Batman? Why was it your movie of the year? Just edging out over Wakanda Forever.
Because he be kicking ass.
What was your favorite performance in it? Because it has Batson's performance, which was
everything Zoe Kravitz in.
I was about to say Zoe Kravitz. What about Colin Farrell's? Hey.
Yeah, that's second. I mean, everybody did a phenomenal job, but let me be biased. Zoe Kravitz, and then the Penguin. Like I rewatched it again last night for like the 6th time.
Who's that? The mayor. Is that the mayor? Yeah. Oh, it is the mayor.
Yeah. Oh, look at that.
Look at that, huh?
What do you call
she's one hot chick, huh?
What do you call Falcone? He said, "You're a rat." He said, "What you say?" You're right. You about to pull out the blower on him. I didn't shoot.
Yeah, I ain't do nothing. I ain't do nothing. Like again, he's
Yeah.
Josh Peck from that. Okay, as I discussed when that trailer came out. What's that for? For being an idiot. Okay.
According to the chat, yeah, he's in a Christian code.
That was the thing I realized this time. I do. All of the performances are strong. Even John Turturro as Falcone is strong, and he only has like 3 or 4 scenes. But him doing like the Hippocratic oath, huh? Okay, him trying to be like sleazy mob boss guy. Jeffrey Wright as Commissioner Gordon, which is even again the teaser at the end with Barry Keoghan's Joker, which they dropped that full scene that they cut out from the film. I still think that was a good scene, and it made sense to cut it out, but I think it still would have worked within the film. But I like the reveal at the end better than something we'd have in the middle, obviously. And plus, then if
you already know he's gonna be there, that's why.
Yeah, and in the middle of the movie, it just would have like distracted you from the fact that like again he also goes to the Joker for help, like explain this guy to me. Even though the whole time like the movie does a great job of showing how smart Batman actually is, because again this is a Batman movie, not a Bruce Wayne movie.
And it's showing the go home showed the Joker and the Riddler talking in Arkham, so it's like that's why people keep thinking that whole theory that the second movie might be in Arkham Asylum, which would be phenomenal.
Yeah, and the already like the great creative flourish of making his mother an Arkham and his father a Wayne. Like that was great, like creative writing by Peter Craig and Matt Reeves to link that two together. So
yeah, if that's the second movie, we don't need a third one. I ain't gonna hold y'all.
No, because I think the third one would be like, because the way they're running it, I think like if the city's being rebuilt, he has to go in the Arkham to stop something, and then maybe that's like so like 2 or 3 people get out of Gotham, or is that maybe when you probably do like
keep everything in there? Because they said, I know Matt Reeves talked about he wanted to do something with Mr. Freeze. You can make it work with the second movie, keep it in Arkham. I'm good enough with that. Like, if we get an Arkham Asylum movie, like the one Ben Affleck wanted to do a couple years ago that he wanted to direct.
Yeah,
I'm good with that.
He legit wanted to do like Arkham Asylum, the game, as a movie, where like he just fights numerous villains throughout the film.
Yeah, just do that. I mean, y'all done killed my hopes and dreams, Warner Discovery, about a Batman Beyond movie that we knew that was going to come out now after cancellation. So I don't need nothing else Batman after this. Because that's all I wanted after that. I would have been good with Batman movies the rest of my life if you would have made Batman Beyond. But y'all some player haters, so that's done. So just give me one more Batman movie. I'm good the rest of my life. I don't need to see no more Batman movies. Because this one is going to be... That's the only way you top this one, because it go to Dark Knight and then the Batman. But then if you do something to Arkham, then it's like, all right, now we got to change this whole top 3. But they got a catalog for 30 plus years now. This one worked because it was more the detective approach, which he said he wanted to do anyway years ago when he started the draft script for it. But it still has enough action. This Batman has freaked me out more than any other Batman because he looks strange. Them eyes freak me out all the time. And he's more... Chico. Yeah, it's right there. And he's more emotional compared to any other Batman because he talks with his eyes and his face at times. So, but he still
one of the best scenes is him in the Riddler when they're talking through the glass and he's like, "You're psychotic," and you just like see how angry Pattinson gets, and it realizes like the character who is actually kind of like in the whole point of Batman is he is the villain because he creates the villains. But when he realizes they're just as sick as he is, or like they realize again, like when he's like, your true mask is what you're wearing right now, not under you.
Right.
Like I know that's the real you, that's what you want to be. But the whole like because it keeps cutting to Batson, he just gets into like, you're sick, you need help, you're psychotic, and again it's like, what are you doing? Like even though he doesn't go like the full like, where's the trigger? But like that's like the most time
he still had the voice.
Yeah, but he still doesn't get like that's the loudest he gets compared like the whole time. He's like, I'm quiet, talking like this. Like,
and I think he's trying to figure out which voice he want to go with because once again, this is year 1 as well.
Yeah, well, year 2 technically. Yeah, he's in the middle of year 2.
So that's why it's perfect, and that's why when he running fades, you know, what I mean, he get touched up a little bit just because he haven't perfected his martial arts.
he's still kicking ass against the Darby Allin crew.
He got shot up.
The crew. Yeah, at the end he gets a shotgun shot right to the chest. He goes like, it's that adrenaline just goes.
Right.
Again, he goes like Henry, get your fucking hands off of her, like.
Yeah, without the pistol, the back of the pistol. That's one of the bad things. One of the bad things that happened in 2022. God bless Ray Liotta.
Oh, yeah.
I had to remember. I'm like, damn, Ray Liotta passed.
But I made it clear my movie of the year again. It goes to the MVP of 2022, Tom Cruise's. It's Top Gun Maverick. We discussed it numerous times as well with the Batman. Again, the thing about the Batman,
a love story.
No, but the thing about the Batman, like you just said, it's the greatest Batman movie. Meanwhile, The Dark Knight is the greatest movie about Batman, because it's a movie where like Batman's a character in it, whereas like the Batman's like it's this character doing his thing, like it's a detective work, beating bad guys up, all of it. Whereas like The Dark Knight's like it's a great action movie that features Batman as the star. So Top Gun Maverick is probably one of the best sequels that surpasses the original, the Godfather 2's, legacy like that. And it's, like I said the other day, and when we reviewed it earlier in the year, it's the best commentary of a man and his journey. Like the whole, I'm not a teacher, I'm an aviator. Like when he talks to Val Kilmer in that room, it's like Tom Cruise speaking about himself, where he's like, listen, I'm not a father. I'm not a husband. I'm a movie star, damn it. Like, I make movies. Like, I'm not meant to be a regular man. I'm meant to do this. And the whole point of Maverick is like, I'm meant to fly planes. That's the life I live, and that's the life I've been living in. They want more from me, but I can't give it. Like, he's dedicated to like flying at Mach 10, going over Mach 10, when it's like you just have to hit Mach 9, but he hits Mach 10 instead and keeps going. And Ed Harris like, you got some balls, stick jockey, as he's pushing it further and further.
There you go.
The fastest man alive. Being the fastest man alive. And a beautiful sequence when he like, there's that one shot of like the trail right after the ship as it's like flying through the clouds. Phenomenal direction by Joseph Kosinski, who also did Spiderhead. A decent movie. It wouldn't be on my best of the year, but it's a decent movie. He has that F1 movie coming up, which I'm excited for. But Joseph Kosinski did a great job directing this. He directed Tron Legacy, one of my favorite movies. And the editing in this movie, I said that to you the other day, like rewatching it the last few days, just how they cut to like people in the cockpit, the planes themselves, people on the ground reacting, like when they, especially in the last two sequences, when you see the people in the submarine, you see Maverick and Rooster on the mission, then you see the planes themselves flying. It's just a beautiful work. The score is good, the writing, and the guy who's responsible for both the Batman and Top Gun Maverick is Peter Craig, the son of Sally Field. He had a hand in crafting the screenplay, or the stories at least, to both films. So he actually is the runner-up for MVP of 2022, I should say. Shout out to him. And he also co-wrote The Town with Ben Affleck, if I'm not mistaken. Like I think he wrote the initial version of the script that Ben Affleck came on to and had some input. But great performances by Miles Teller, especially Glenn Powell's Hangman, and the sexual tension between those two, where it's like obviously playing on that homoeroticism of the first Top Gun, where it's like, okay, dudes, we get it, like you're macho guys, but just like kiss already. That's the point of those two. It's like, and I'm still pissed that people don't get it. Hangman is Maverick and Rooster is Iceman, because Rooster is the one that flies safe, like Iceman flies safe. That's why he gets angry at Maverick and calls him dangerous. And Hangman is the cocky pilot who's the best, like Maverick was. The whole time people think Miles Teller's playing Rooster as Maverick. It's the other way. Maverick has to teach him how to be like him, which is the whole like, don't think, just do. And this movie has a bunch of great lines like that. Like, it's not the plane, it's the pilot. And probably my favorite scene of the year in a way is when Tom Cruise flies the mission under 2 minutes and 15 seconds to show, then just a commentary on that, to show John Hamm, this TV actor, like you could tell a story in 2.5 hours compared to 10 hours, because TV star, you can't do what I can do. And all these young bucks like Jay Ellis and Danny Ramirez and Louis Pullman, Bill Pullman's son, like, here's how you be a movie star, kids. Let me show you. Because that's what this movie's about. It's the used to be the best, but this guy still is the best story, which is what we always love in action movies, right?
Yeah, listen here, kid. I know how to use the old, remedies in order to get the job
Yeah,
done. Now there's
because
technology.
the other great sequence is when he beats their ass on training, the first day of training, like as the song like by the Who plays, and he just like, that's a kill, that's a kill. Like he pulls all these tricks, and like he's still able to be the best, like the best of this generation. But it's like, one last job also for him. They wrote all those great action movie tropes, or like, used to be the best. This is your last post. After this mission, you're done. We're kicking you out of here. It also is a great tribute to Val Kilmer, even though he's still alive. But like, that scene's powerful. And all that.
Originally they wanted to get him in the movie, but obviously you can't.
Yeah, due to his current health situation. But it's just a phenomenal movie. I mean, I saw it twice in the theaters. The second time I saw it with a woman, and I was like almost on the verge of tears at the end, where I'm just like, because it's like I didn't think they were gonna kill him when they shoot him down, but it's still like that moment, like, and at the end, where like they're getting chased, it's like, I know a hangman's gonna come and save them, but still, like when he's like, I'm sorry, it tugs your heartstrings. It's those tears, or they're not actual tears, but you're just like, my eyes are like, oh God, like. Because it's a movie about fathers and sons, similar like how the Batman is with like him and Alfred, even though he's pissy to Alfred the whole time, which you and I discussed with Fam and my dad at the end, when he's like, I'm afraid to lose someone. And when I almost saw a shoe, that made me realize I am afraid, even though I'm not afraid to die, I'm afraid to lose people I care about.
That's G-ish.
Yeah. And the Top Gun Maverick's my movie of the year. Some other runner-ups or my favorite things from movies this year was this technically counts because we watched it in 2022 because it had a wider release, but The Tragedy of Macbeth, mainly Denzel Washington's performance in that. I mean, obviously he got the Oscar nomination, but
he ain't gonna have it this year when Equalizer 3 drop.
Him and Dakota Fanning reuniting after what, almost 20 years since Man on Fire.
They ain't gonna get me to watch it. Yeah, it'll be 21 year. I'm not watching no. I didn't like the second one. The second one, the only good
I've never seen any of the Equalizers, but
the last scene when they out like in the desert storm or whatever, like some Tom Clancy Splinter Cell type stuff, that was fire. They have a shootout like in the Equalizer 2. They had like a shootout in the desert, something like that. It's like mad sand, and he maneuvering around that. That was fire. But otherwise, in that, I like the first one. They got Queen Latifah. Speaking of multiverse,
yeah. Well, no, that's the show. I don't think she's in the movie.
It don't matter. You see how it works.
Oh, that's different.
So, because it was a TV show. I could put out a third movie. No, it was the movie. It was a TV show at first, of course, then the movie, but now it's a TV show again. But yet you coming out with a third movie. So y'all want to talk about multiverse? There you go. She got her own Equalizer. She used it on her girlfriend. Imagine that theme music, and I don't even know how the Equalizer theme music go. I don't know why in my head right now I hear the Sunday Night Football theme. When she pull that mother, when she pull it out, right, like a Zelda sword. Ha ha! I hope you never hear this Queen Latifah because I ain't trying to get beat up.
I'm saying she's gonna beat your ass like. Like she just not Mike Tyson like.
Yeah. That's a strong woman from Jersey.
I mean, as we talked about a few weeks ago, right? Bringing down the house when she beats Missy Pyle's ass, like, come on.
Yeah, that's a shoot. She's a strong woman from Jersey. I don't want no problems, big fella.
I already mentioned Multiverse of Madness, my favorite MC movie of the year. I also did like Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, so we skip over that. Bullet Train. I did like Bullet Train. I know you didn't.
Only you and Manny like that movie.
I only really like Bullet Train a lot because of Lemon and Tangerine, Aaron Taylor Johnson and Brian Tyree Henry's performance. They were great. The whole them as brothers, I should say, obviously.
The Dudley boys.
And basically, yeah. And the whole bit about like Thomas the Tank Engine. Are you talking about Thomas the fucking Tank Engine again? Like that bit was good.
I love that show as a kid.
But this movie kind of just like wastes Sassy Beats for like the scene and a half she's in. I do like Bad Bunny's mini story arc and fight with Brad Pitt. That's good. Obviously, Bad Bunny's been killing it the last 3 years.
No, that should be your MVP of the year, boy. He doing soccer.
He would have been a better
stadiums.
MVP last year, I think, because of the Mania match and the tour was announced. But I mean, when he gets that,
Yeah, when you doing
Spider-Man,
soccer stadiums, yeah.
yeah. But I mean, yeah, he's probably bronze medalist for this year, I'd say. Yeah, because he was in the Rumble. Yeah, so I'd say Bad Bunny's runner up for MVP because he held his own against Brock Lesnar. Shout out to him. He stood toe to toe with Brock Lesnar. It actually wasn't like Brock Lesnar wasn't towering over him. Like, is Bad Bunny like sneaky tall? Like,
I think he's like 6'1".
yeah.
He's standing on his money. He's 7'1".
Yeah. Even though this movie kind of wastes Andrew Koji and Hiroyuki Sanada in terms of like their presence as action stars, and it does have like the very problematic bit about like Michael Shannon's the head of the Yakuza, even though he's a white man, and that's the thing. Like this movie already had like the whitewashing accusations, which is
also
why
he's Jay White.
No, that's different. Don't do that. No,
Yeah,
because the Bullet Club is meant to be a white faction,
as we know now.
No, it's always been Gaijin. What do you mean?
No, listen, I got my own theory about that, but that's
here you go. You're just trying to stir shit right now. That's why.
Kind of.
Yeah, we'll get to that next week.
Go ahead, plug it.
No, they'll know. But it also has a great Bullet Train also has a great Channing Tatum. He's actually probably another runner-up for MVP of the year because both movies he had, the Dog movie and Lost City of Z, made money, shockingly.
You know why that first movie made money? This for the...
Yeah, because people like dogs.
No, this for the women.
And he
gonna be your MVP this year. You know he coming back for a last.
You know what I'm saying? Like the trailer to Magic Mike 3 came out, and he's gonna be the star of Zoe Kravitz, his girl. He's the star of her directorial debut, Pussy Island, which I think is an HBO Max movie. So technically, I think he also might be a runner-up or a bronze medalist for MVP because I think they announced they were dating this year or seeing together this year.
Seeing together, they ain't dating.
They're dating, yeah.
No.
You're just jealous.
Ain't that confirmed.
Bullet Train does, like I said, that has a great cameo by him because he was in Lost City Z, which Brad Pitt kind of has a glorified cameo. Even though I didn't see that movie, but he was in the trailer a lot. It does have a bad Ryan Reynolds cameo, though. That's the unfortunate part about Bullet Train. Not to hate on Ryan Reynolds, but like Ryan Reynolds being the guy who sets the whole thing up, and like he does like his Ryan Reynolds like smirk thing. I'm like, this movie really didn't need that. It wastes your girl Sandra Bullock, which is a knock against it. But there is some enjoyable stuff about Bullet Train. The Northman. Did you end up watching? You try to rewatch The Northman?
What the hell is The Northman?
That was the Viking movie, remember?
Oh no, I didn't want to see that.
Oh, well, it has two great action.
Right?
No, Nicholas Hoult. No, it's Alexander Skarsgård was in it.
Oh, that played it?
No, that's the brother of the guy who played it.
Look the same thing. Well, they brothers, so that ain't racial.
Yeah,
but.
well, I mean they're tall Norwegian or Swedish men, I should say.
Yeah, no, I saw the trailer for The Northman when I went to go see that Kurt Warner movie in 2021.
Oh my god, I forgot you saw that fucking movie.
Yeah, no, I remember they played the trailer and I was like, huh.
No, The Northman's good. It does have two of my favorite action scenes, which is a sequence which he fights like a zombie knight, but it's all a dream. He's fighting him in his mind. And at the end, him and Klaus Bang have a great action scene fighting inside a volcano, which harkens back to the Revenge of the Sith climactic scene between Obi-Wan and Anakin, which we'll get to a little bit later. But I enjoyed that from that movie. I do think Nope is good, not great. What did you think about Nope?
It was good. That's all I can say. I won't sit up here and cap and say, as the kids say, cap. I won't sit up here and just say, "Oh, it's bad." It was a good movie, but
no, it's not bad. It's just good. I didn't think
that was another heartbreaking
moment
though. That happened to me this year. Amongst a lot of things, man. Keke Palmer getting pregnant. I'm just like, damn.
Oh my god! Like you got a shot?
How you know?
What do you mean? How do I know?
How you know I don't? Well, not now.
Because it's Keke Palmer.
What you mean? I just believe.
Oh my.
Right. ECW had it all.
Anything is possible. That's you, huh?
But now, I'm jaded. So it's been a long year. Go ahead. But it was a good movie.
But mainly the last 30 minutes to me are the best part of it. When they actually like build the whole setup to trap Jean Jacket is what they call the the flying saucer or unidentified flying object. Like Dana Kaluuya on the horse, it harkening back to the first black man on a horse. And the first image of a movie is a black man on a horse. They're playing up to that. It's just a great piece of filmmaking by Jordan Peele and Hoyte van Hoytema. The score is perfect with it, and to see again Dana Kaluuya in the Scorpion King hoodie ride a horse as he's being chased by a flying saucer. That's what movie making is at times. And the movie Barbarian, huh?
I want to start dressing like that, like how he was dressed in Nope. I'm about to start dressing like that.
What, boots, jeans, and t-shirts?
Like Hangman Page, yeah.
Yeah. It does have two good Keith David scenes, and shout out to Keith David. He always kills it.
Yeah, I told a story about Keith David recently on a different podcast.
Have you ever met Keith David?
Sort of, but if I would have stuck my hand, he probably would have slapped it. He did that to somebody else I know as well. No, he did that to somebody else as well.
You saying he's Michael Jordan?
Yeah, no, very much so. He did that.
I thought he was taking pictures of y'all.
Yeah, no, that's what he did.
No,
to me and somebody else.
Get your fucking hands off me.
Yeah, I just looked at him. I was like, "Oh, that's the man for Gargoyles," and then, Dead Presidents, and then he just kind of looked at me.
You think he's like? Does he treat you like Bernie Mac and like in Don't Be a Menace to South Central? Like, I hate you because
I might go that far, but I'm not sure. But I know he did that to somebody else too. They saw him at the airport, and he got on the same flight as him, and then he looked at him like. So, I'm like, damn.
What you looking at, huh?
The voice from Gargoyles is kind of rude, people.
You're saying he's Steven from Django?
I wouldn't go that far, like I said. and Steven from Django is hilarious too. So
yeah, I know that. We'll probably talk about that in a few weeks.
Are we doing watching on Django? I don't think we could do that.
No, we'll just talk about it.
If we do, February 1st, we'll talk about it. Yeah.
No.
Monsieur Calvin.
The movie Barbarian. I talked about this with Van a little bit. That it's a great horror movie. The first act is phenomenal.
Ain't this when they eat people?
No, that's Bones and All. Barbarian's the Airbnb gone wrong.
That's just about the same concept.
Yeah, that's why it's a good movie, because it's this is why I would never want to stay in an Airbnb. But it's a great horror movie. It's on HBO Max right now. I highly recommend it. I don't want to spoil it because it's a movie that has a lot of big twists and reveals. That you should definitely watch it. Great. And it was directed by the guy who was a member of The Whitest Kid You Know. Did you ever watch that?
I heard of it, but no.
Yeah. All right, now we'll get into. Oh no, and the last thing, of course, because we spent numerous times talking about this, but The Gray Man. The Gray Man is not a movie of the year to me. It, like I said, is disappointing, but all right. It has its moments, but the performances by Ryan Gosling and Chris Evans is what makes the movie. Especially their fight scene at the end. Yeah, especially the fight scenes the fight scene they have at the end was well worth it. But the movie as a whole is like a 3 out of 5, and it kind of always borders on a 2.5 or a 3.5. I was hyped for it. I was let down, but I'm like, it's not as bad as I thought. But almost like, it's still not really that good. It's the Russo brothers. I'm thinking they're frauds because their next project also doesn't sound that good, and they have that TV show at Amazon, which they spent all the money on that they didn't spend all the money on with Lord of the Rings, that TV show, and we're moving into TV shows in a minute. But The Gray Man, it's on Netflix. We did a commentary to it on our Patreon, Pay the $5. We salute y'all in the chat who are patrons. But yeah, I mean, I still enjoy the action sequence.
Shouts out to y'all.
Yeah, but I appreciate the action scenes on it. But most importantly, Chris Evans just hamming it up as a villain, and Ryan Gosling, doing his best Bruce Willis and Die Hard impression, because that's what he's doing. He's the smug. Come out to the coast, have a few laughs. But yeah, The Gray Man. So now we'll get into TV. What's your show of the year?
Wait, hold on. You didn't even see everything everywhere at once.
I know that's at the end of the episode. I'll get to my the stuff I missed. But is that you speak on it?
Good movie. That deals with y'all whole multiverse timeline type stuff y'all was talking about.
We're really gonna spend all day arguing about this, So
it's the same little concept y'all have about that. What if? Woulda, coulda, shoulda. in this timeline type stuff. So they did it better than Doctor Strange too. So y'all might want to check that out. Shouts out to my dude. Wasn't it Indy? He back in that. He in that
Short
movie
round.
now. Yeah, after all these years. Yeah, after all these years, he back to acting. So
yeah, he'll be in Loki season 2.
That's what's up. I don't know what made him get back to acting, but
he wasn't blackballed, but he just wasn't being casted, and then they casted him for the role specifically. I think that there was a whole GQ article about him, but yeah, it's like he just wasn't getting roles after he was, again, the steam-ceiling star of Temple of Doom, which I like Temple of Doom a lot, and he was in Goonies, and he was Data in Goonies. He's great in Goonies, like with the slick shoes and all his devices. I'm
still on season 1 for Better Call Saul.
But yeah, I think your favorite show is my favorite show. And what is that show, Banks?
Peacemaker.
You and I almost broke down Peacemaker weekly or bi-weekly. We did that with another show, which will be on my list. I hope it's on your list too. But Peacemaker.
Probably not.
John Cena stole the show in the Suicide Squad, so it only made sense that James Gunn built a whole project around him. And this project delivers. I mean, you can tell John Cena was meant to act as his wrestling career is winding down.
It's done.
Yeah, we talked about that on Friday. Again, go back to Patreon. Shout out to Mimi. She joined us as we watched John Cena's return, if you can call that a return, to the ring. But Peacemaker allows him to show his action range, which he already established with the Marine and 12 rounds and all those early movies WWE made him do.
The 12 rounds in the Marine.
It again already showed that he had comedy chops because he was in movies like Trainwreck and Blockers, and he hosted SNL.
Trainwreck is one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life.
Oh yeah, it's not that good, but it really shows but it really shows the drama side he has, especially the stuff with his dad, and when you find out his backstory with his brother. Like John Cena is putting on like a performance where he hits like all 3 phases of acting. And again, Robert Patrick, who was the villain of the Marine, comes back to play the White Dragon.
The banters that he had, the promos
he's the real villain. That's the real heel of the year. I mean, right? Like,
no, not really.
When the Asian cop comes to the door and he says what he says, I'm just like, no. Okay, no. Especially because you love Asian women. So yeah.
That don't mean I can't crack no jokes.
Oh my God.
You just can't crack no jokes on me.
Oh my God.
Like, you just can't crack some jokes on me, Bummer, but I can crack the jokes on you.
What was your favorite moment from the show, though?
I think it was the episode before last when he went against them people, the White Dragon people.
Yeah, he
trying to escape from him. Yeah.
When they chase him down and he starts running like it's a Scooby-Doo thing. Ah!
Yeah, that's what you want to do. In my case, it ain't gonna work. But that was the main
scene at the end when he shows up with like with the sword and the shield and kills like all those those bug alien controlled villains, which was that thing was kind of gross, like the way the bugs just like insert themselves into people to control them. Stuff like that always freaks me out.
You eat pork,
it always goes back to Men in
the
Black.
Same thing happened.
But pork is delicious. So.
Yeah, but the same thing happening to you, my brother. And the parasites getting you that way.
No. You need to start.
But they go pork. From their testing. Boy, I almost said something on here I can't even say. Disrespecting me, talking about eat some pork, bro. You crazy?
Pork. Be a man.
No, I don't. Well, I'm not.
Be a man. Eat some pork. Come on.
Be something else. Because ain't no way I'm eating no pork, bro. That's disrespectful.
Come on, you already. Come on. Do it. Do it. Remember Starsky and Hutch? He's like, do it. Do it.
Okay. that's all the retort for that was. Otherwise than that, the first episode with him and Shorty, when she was possessed.
Oh, the fight scene after they hook up.
Yeah, that was fun.
And he's singing into the vibrator. Yeah, that is. I do love him.
Nasty.
I do love him shooting a shot. Like, listen, I haven't been with a woman, I should say, in a while because he was in prison. So he's like, listen,
He's in Black Gate.
I got needs. Yeah, he's like, listen, I got needs. I do love that scene though.
I respect
incredibly
it.
hot because she is. Shout out to Mrs. James Gunn.
But I respect it. He just
Yeah.
like, hey man, how much? At that point,
Yeah.
40 ball. So I
and the
respect
whole like him and Vigilante is good. Like, oh, this Vigilante, he thinks he's doing good, but he's just like a nuisance. Like,
and then the scene when the Justice League show up, he like, man, what took y'all so long?
yeah, you fucking dicks. Like,
right, bro. Like we already handled everything. Like for real, that was perfect timing because it's like we kind of needed y'all like a long time ago.
and you already cut like the shoot promos on them throughout the episodes. Like in that first episode, like Aquaman fucks fish, and the guy's like, no, he doesn't. Like, yes, he does. He's like, how do you know? I've read it online. And then when he visits the kids, visits the kids in class, like Wonder Woman, what's he say? Like she's a prude or something like that. Like she won't give it up. Like, the Flash, right? He says the Flash, he's an asshole. Like, and then
essentially
again,
he was like Homelander without the Homelander stuff.
Oh yeah, and again he cuts apart the Batman. He's like, listen, the Batman's a fucking pussy because he won't kill anyone. So fuck the Batman.
Oh, that was this year, but this season was trash, low key. Well, with the boys.
The Boys?
Yeah,
I know.
I
I
like
thought
this
The Boys season 3 was better than The Boys season 2. I didn't think The Boys season 2 was good because the first season's great. Season 2 is bad. This season was a lot better.
And season 4, the only thing that's gonna help it is the kid finally took the heel turn.
That and there's also the prequel series at the at like the superhero university. So it's like they're doing Sky High meets The Boys.
Yeah, I forgot about that. I'm like, all right, never mind.
And they also had the animated show, but I didn't watch that because again, I don't watch fucking cartoons.
Well, you disrespectful. Shouts out to Sean Tragedy for saying Chainsaw Man. That was actually pretty good for all my anime people. It's a little grotesque, but it's pretty good. Mobile Suit Gundam, Winged or Witched.
They're still making Gundams?
Mm-hmm. They're gonna be making Gundam forever.
Damn.
So the one, give me 1 second to look it up. It's like Wing Angel or Wing Witch or something like that. It was pretty good. Give me 1 second. Spy X Family, I still haven't watched. I'm talking about anime now since he wanted to be up here, disrespect cartoons. Mobile Suit Gundam, The Witch from Mercury was pretty good. Spy X Family, I still haven't seen that. Otherwise than that, no. The only thing I really enjoyed was, in fact, Peacemaker. I don't think I've enjoyed any other show this year.
Well, the other show I thought you would, because again, we almost covered it weekly, was Winning Time, The Rise of the Lakers Dynasty.
Yeah, but after time passed, it just had moments. I don't think I liked the show as a whole. I just like moments.
I think it's my second favorite show of the year. Even though again that pilot was so wacky and just like, oh, they're really going for it with like the betrayal of Jerry West, which is my favorite TV performance of the year. Jason Clarke is Jerry West. Again, it made me like Adrian Brody because he does a good job as Pat Riley, even though I hated that casting at first. The guy who plays Magic Johnson does a great job. Same thing with the guy who plays Kareem. And again, it had my favorite scene of the year, which was when Kareem goes to the mosque to see the DOC. And the DOC like tells him,
Assalamu alaikum.
That scene was good, but when the DOC says like,
you're not tapped in. I thought you were gonna respond.
Alaikum salam. I know. But when the DOC tells him like he made you tall for a reason, that's why he gave you such great height, so you could tower over men and they can look up to you because you can guide them. I thought that scene was amazing and powerful. And all the performances on the show were good. John C. Reilly as Jerry Buss, and we talked about it with Mimi. We talked about it with Semp. Enjoyed the influence of jazz. The use of jazz on the show, and it had some interesting portrayals of Richard Pryor by Mike Epps, which he says the only way we'll get that performance because it was supposed to be a movie at some point, but now they turned into a show. To this show.
They just call him when they need somebody to do a impersonation of Richard Pryor because that movie is done because it was under the Weinstein production. So,
but yeah, again, and we're staying in the lane of like HBO shows or HBO Max shows, but that did a great job, and I'm looking forward to season 2, which unfortunately I don't think will be 2023, or it won't be until the end of the year.
No, it'll be next year probably.
Yeah. Considering like the production, like the basketball, it did a decent job with the basketball scenes, which can always be tough, but they focus on like the dramatization of like the players and the drama behind the scenes. And they fully leaned into like, listen, let's say this is based on a true story. Again, these are true people and true events, but like, let's amplify the drama. Let's make it a TV show. Let's make it entertaining. instead of like the by the numbers like biopic of like none of this stuff happened, so you don't have to believe it. It's like no, the show's supposed to be like a farce, a satire. It's supposed to be epic and grander than you think it is, which is why people are not happy with their portrayals on the show. But I enjoyed the show a lot. Another HBO show I enjoyed, even though it wasn't as good as season 1, which was in 2019, and that's Euphoria season 2. And I know people say it's trashing, and it couldn't tell a story to save its life, but it still has amazing performances. Regardless of what you think of Sam Levinson, he does a great job directing, even though his fascination with young women is disturbing. We'll at some point maybe talk about The Idol and his use and that continuing in a way. But my girl Sydney Sweeney killed it this year. The pilot was great. It was that with Fesco beats Nate Jacobs' ass, and that was everyone, that was the most talked about thing that night on Twitter. Zendaya continues to show her range and probably will get another Emmy, like she did for her performance in season 1. And yeah, even though there was a thing like Barbie Ferreira's role was significantly cut, and that's why her performance was just ridiculous. But it's a show I still enjoy. I enjoy it just as like a work of art. Like I enjoy Nick Winding Refn's work, where it's like the story is C level, but the production and cinematography and direction is all A+. But Euphoria season 2. I didn't get to Atlanta season 4, but I enjoyed Atlanta season 3. What about
trash?
You?
Atlanta season 3 trash. 4 was all right. I actually watched that. It was all right. It went back to the essence without too much comedy. Like it had moments of comedy, but it felt like season 1 just without the funny. But after this, I never want to see Donald Glover again.
And I don't think we will, to be honest. He's supposed to have that Mr. and Mrs. Smith TV show, but I don't know if they casted. No, but I don't know if they had recasted the role of Mrs. Smith, because it was initially supposed to be Phoebe Waller-Bridge, but she dropped out.
They did recast it. I think they're actually shooting that right now. So
let me see real quick. But
I'm gonna watch
I know what you mean about season 3, because season 3 has every other episode was a standalone story, and some of those more often than not weren't as good. Like or at least weren't as strong all the way through, because the one about is it like back-ended reparations, like when they find out like Justin Bartha has to pay because his family owned slaves through history, so he has to pay that woman back. It did have a great line where his wife is like I'm Ecuadorian or Peruvian. He's like, but you were white yesterday. Like that was a great line. The stuff about the guy who's biracial, but he mainly passes as white, and the whole like he has to go through Kevin Samuels' gauntlet to see if he can get the college tuition. You don't remember that one?
No, that's how forgettable it was.
Oh no, it was good because it was good at the end when they're like.
So they have Blake Griffin go through the gauntlet.
It wasn't necessarily Blake Griffin and be like.
Was it Logic interracial?
Yeah. Almost that, because it's like he has hair that mainly makes him pass as white. Who's like?
Also, he looked like the one dude, Bob, from the Martin Show, when Martin played a white dude.
But it's good when George Wallace at the end is like, "You are white."
And I say that, but people call me crazy. All right.
What else?
What's my rule, Davis? You want to tell the public? Never mind. Don't do it.
No white moms is what you're saying?
No, if you got a white mom, what does that mean?
That you're white?
There you go. David said it, so y'all get mad at him.
Wow. No, I'm saying that's what you said.
No, that's not true.
But what is the percentage you think where it's the opposite?
I go by the genetics. You get most of your genetic coding from your mom anyway.
No, but I'm saying how many are black moms, white dads? How many Bill Burr families we got out there?
Oh, no, that's different. That means you blood.
But how does that? But I'm saying, but how many of those compared to the opposite?
No, that means you qualify.
No, I know, but how many of those?
This is problematic conversation.
No. I'm saying like, well, you're the one who fucking started this, so you're gonna fucking sit with it.
Care.
Like, I'm saying,
no, like my guy.
Are they outnumbered?
No, hell no. Well, in the UK, yeah, but not in America.
So you're saying in America we have more?
In the UK, they got a lot of guys that. Like you and
we
Bill
have
Burr,
more Robert. We have more. No, because that's the opposite. Who?
Like that's why we was talking about. If you was in the UK, you'll be doing numbers just because over there that's what they do. The white men be over there like, yeah, I think I want a piece of cake, chocolate cake, please.
No, isn't it the opposite? Isn't it?
It's more so like that over there.
Really? Oh, that would be the opposite.
Nah, because I think what's the name? It's a couple of them hashtag good women I'll follow, but it's one specifically like her mom is a Nigerian.
Okay.
It don't matter. Listen, they got the land of Hall of Famers over there. I'll just say that. All different types of scrumpets. I don't know if that's a term that they call themselves. I don't know what you call it. Dashingly good women, sir. Dashingly good women is in the UK. We must go. We must get out of America and go over there. I like a spot of tea of that one.
Obi-Wan Kenobi. I was late on Obi-Wan Kenobi, but I ended up binging it one weekend, and it was phenomenal. I think it was. I didn't end up watching Andor, which everyone says is the best Star Wars movie show that Disney has done since they bought Lucasfilm, but Obi-Wan Kenobi was phenomenal. Ewan McGregor's performance, the girl was adorable as young Princess Leia, and Hayden Christensen kind of got some redemption, even though he delivers two good performances in hindsight as Anakin Skywalker in Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. But what did you think of Obi-Wan Kenobi?
Thought it was true.
I thought you liked the show. I thought you liked it.
I'm joking. It was all right. It was pretty good.
What do you think? It's better than The Mandalorian or no?
No, hell no. Mandalorian season 1 and 2 is masterpiece, but the Obi-Wan show was all right.
Because I was gonna say, like, the other Star Wars show we got this year at the top of the year was, well, I mean, technically it was the end of last year, was Book of Boba Fett. Book of Boba Fett was not good.
Rome asked a question. He said, Abbott Elementary. Do you like that show?
I haven't watched it. Don't watch it. So why not?
Because Zach Fox in it.
Well, so is Vince Staples. And we'll get to Vince Staples.
I don't give a god. I don't give it. You know what? I love Vince, but I don't care. Zach Fox is in it. Anything Zach Fox is a part of, I don't want anything to do with it. Why you think I got him blocked on Twitter? Because I have to be on Twitter. I don't want it.
What did he do for you? What did he do to you?
Cornball brother. I know he let his girlfriend and his homeboys call him the N-word. I could tell. And I don't care. Don't ever send me that music again. The homie, you already know who I'm talking. Don't ever send me no Zach Fox music again, bro. I'll block you. He's a cornball. Shouts out to Chris, though, from Everybody Hates Chris. I like him.
Okay.
I'm sorry, what you want me to not say it?
I'm just trying to talk about Obi-Wan. I mean, gonna have O'Shea Jackson Jr. on the show, gonna had Sun Kang on the show and wasted him. That was my only part of the show I hated. But shout out to Moses Ingram. She killed it as what was her name? Something mother. Or no, something sister, right?
The one that found out she got some Jedi powers.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
She was an ambulance, yeah. Which didn't make, because I was disappointed by ambulance.
She was in what's name?
Or ambulance, I should say.
The King Queen movie or whatever, Viola Davis.
I don't think she's in The Woman King. Let me see.
Damn, she looked like Shorty. The one that was in 007.
No, she does not look like Lashana Lynch. Because
I'm tripping.
Moses Ingram is from Baltimore, and Lashana Lynch is again a UK teen.
Yeah, that's right. I was just about to say that. I swear that was the same person.
No, she was in the Tragedy of Macbeth is what she was in. She was Lady Macduff. She was Corey Hawkins's wife who gets killed in that scene.
Yeah, my fault, y'all. I'm just thinking that was kind of racial. I'm thinking like that's the same person. I'm like, hold on.
But you saw The Woman King, right? Didn't you like it?
Oh, that movie's fire. It low-key was, but it just ain't gonna make my list. But it was a good movie. Somebody was like, it's the prequel to Black Panther. I was like, no, that's not how it works. But that's still hilarious.
I think that tribe probably inspired the Dora Milaje in like comics, I would say. You know what I mean? Like whoever created the concept of the Dora Milaje probably took inspiration from that tribe of women soldiers. At least I assume so. I think Van and X would know about the history of that more than anyone else that we know. But yeah, it's not like the prequel to Black Panther at all. It's based on history that's, again, kind of fabricated, but still it actually happened.
I'm doing my right now, just so I could be clear. Yeah, Lashana Lynch. Yeah, it's a pretty good woman. But I'm trying to look
No,
up.
she's a good looking woman as well.
God damn. What was we talking
She
about?
was
Can you repeat the
she
question?
was Illuminati. She was Illuminati Captain Marvel in Multiverse of Madness. Remember?
Yeah, she was like the last one to get cleaned up too.
Yeah.
And she the only one that can stand a chance. Everybody else. Oh yeah, she
You
gonna be in
got knocked the fuck out.
the Captain. Was it Captain Marvel 2 or whatever? The Marvels.
Probably because Tiana Paris is her daughter grown up.
Yeah, that drops this year.
Yeah. That's thinking I didn't finish Miss Marvel.
Me neither. It's on my TV show list, but I ain't finished it.
Yeah, I didn't start She-Hulk. What were the other? We had Moon Knight, which wasn't good, even though like 2 out of the 6 episodes were good, but the whole thing was just a mess. And as I had said, like it made sense when you found out Jeremy Slater, who co-wrote Fantastic Four 2015 and who co-wrote Mortal Kombat, was responsible for it, because those are 2 trash pieces of art. But yeah, Moon Knight was not good. What else happened? I think it was only those 3 MCU TV shows, right?
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, look at my I was the only one out of the 2 of us that watched House of the Dragon. Again, I wasn't excited for it because I did watch Game of Thrones, but I wasn't a diehard fan about it. But I thought House of the Dragon was great. Its pacing was good, and it didn't go all over the place like Game of Thrones did in terms of an expansive story. It was much more contained about these kind of 8 to 9 characters, whereas Game of Thrones had 20 characters that you had to worry about. And that's why I hated it. Like, oh, it's bouncing from this to that. House of the Dragon. And it also didn't have as much action as I thought it would, but the action that it did have was great. And I think it's kind of gearing up more for season 2 to be a bigger story. But season 2, I'm worried about, given how the creative team from season 1 has already stepped down and are being replaced by different people, which is always a bad sign to me whenever something like that happens. But I did enjoy House of the Dragon because it shocked me about how much I enjoyed it. I would see people talk about it on the timeline, like, should I give it a shot? Because I'm not really trying to get back into Game of Thrones like that. Medieval stuff is always kind of with me. I didn't check out. It's true. Sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't. But like, again, I don't care about Lord of the Rings, which is why I didn't check out The Rings of Power. I know you checked out like the first 2 episodes and that was it. But
yeah, the other forgot that came out this year.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? And the other 2 things for TV with me are just performances on shows I did enjoy as a whole, but these 2 performances stood out. That's Freddie Gibbs on Bust Down. He was great on Bust Down.
Oh, I forgot about that show.
Yeah, Bust Down. It's a good show overall, but his performance was phenomenal.
No, that show was hilarious.
Yeah, unfortunately, Jack Knight passed away, and he was a huge part of that show creatively and one of the stars.
Yeah, that's all I want to know of season 2.
Yeah, I don't think they will end up, but the guy who was in Insecure was great, especially that beige rage episode when the other girl from Insecure, shout out to her, what's her name again?
Ooh, Dominique.
Yeah, Pressure.
You see,
yeah,
I said up.
Yeah, no, she again when she's like, go do that. He's like, what the fuck? And then she like presses him like, what you gonna say? He's like, huh? No, but that show was good. But Freddie Gibbs is phenomenal as the casino manager.
Yeah.
Not just the typical scenes of like, can't no one beat my ass, but like when he tells that woman like, you more of a man than anyone else.
Yeah.
It's an enjoyable show. It's on Peacock because it's a Peacock original. There's only like 6 episodes, which is the unfortunate part. And there's a great Justin Holiday reference too, because they're set in Indiana. They're like, Justin Holiday is a great team player in the NBA.
Also, Southside was funny.
See, I've never started Southside, so should I watch it? Yes or no?
Yeah, it was some. I'm tripping. It was a couple shows that was funny.
I think Hondo from Top Gun Maverick I know he's the starring co-writer of Southside. Him and his brother created it. Because he was good on he was a recurring character on the first few seasons of Glow. He was the husband of one of the wrestlers who becomes the referee.
Mm-hmm.
Bashir Salahadin or something like that. But I thought he was great in Top Gun Maverick as.
And he's shoot married to the police officer, his partner.
Oh, okay.
Southside. Yeah.
But yeah, that's and JD Pardo, who was Jack Toretto in the flashbacks of Fast 9. He's the star of Mayans. And I thought Mayans, which is a spinoff of Sons of Anarchy, season 4 was in 2022, and season 4 I thought was better than season 3. And it's kind of weird how that works. So like the first seasons of Mayans was bad, season 2 was better, season 3 was bad, and then season 4 was good. So it might be like even numbered thing where like for some reason that just works out. But his performance, he kind of takes like the Michael Corleone rise to power / descent into darkness as he becomes the leader of the club by starting out as kind of like a soldier working his way up the ladder. And I thought his performance was great. He also was on that show, the Chris Pratt show, but I didn't watch that show. But now let's move into music, because
this is gonna be fast for me.
It's gonna be fast for you. It's gonna be basic for me. But we won't spend too much time, and then we'll get into just some random stuff at the end to wrap up the episode. But your 2 favorite albums of the year, what were they? Because you already kind of told me, but what about them made them your favorite?
Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers and Lucky's Day Candy Drip. Just because I have them in rotation all the time. Because there's other, like, as far as like rap albums goes, there's a couple of them that I really like and I played, but not consistently, like that album or the Lucky Day album. Those like 2 albums I only played. Like this year more than ever. Like I've always, in the past 2 years, I'll say I've listened to more podcasts than music, but this past year legit, I've only just listened to podcasts and a little bit of music, to be honest with you. It seems like people putting out more podcasts than artists put out music these days. So
yeah. Do you think I would like Lucky Day? I haven't heard him.
The type of women you talk to, you should listen to Lucky Day.
Why is that? What are you trying to say?
Oh no, you don't talk to like the
are you saying the Earth women?
Ebony. Yeah, you don't talk to them type of women. My fault. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but you don't talk to that type of women. So
is that what they listen to?
Nah, they listen to City Girls.
That's the thing. I didn't watch rap shit, and I was looking forward to that. But same thing. I didn't watch Barry season 3.
Oh, I hate that show.
Rap shit?
Yeah.
Why?
Because it's a shoot. No. It's these women. Yeah, so it's a shoot. That's all.
Oh, Florida women. Okay.
Worst human beings on the planet.
Oh my God, no, we're not doing this.
Another
show. It came. Season 2 started a month ago. That was the Sex Lives of College Girls season 2. I haven't watched that yet, even though I caught up on the first season this year.
What is that show about? Is it in the title?
Yeah, it's 4 women in college, and like it's almost like Clueless meets American Pie. Yeah, I said it's a good comp for it. Yeah.
So it's a bunch of 30 to 50-year-old men that's entertained by that. That's probably they market, to be honest. It's nasty, but that's probably they market.
No, it's for guys and women who like romantic comedies.
I bet you it's a bunch of old nasty men that's watching it.
Oh yeah, that's why it's weird that a bunch of old men like Euphoria, because Sydney Sweeney is constantly naked, which is still a weird thing because again, Sam Levinson has a certain fetish. But yeah, we'll get to that.
Yeah, you got your tuition pay, honey. Come over here.
I mean, his father was a Hollywood icon in terms of Barry Levinson. He did Diner and all that. So I mean, it's passed down. That's how they keep it going.
Yeah, you about right. Let's move on.
But no. So Candy Drip. What about Candy? Like, describe it to me like sonically. Is it?
It's my R&B album in 2022 or 2023 now. That's why it gives you the whole breakup stuff. It gives you the whole I want to make love.
And you're
stuff.
moved by that, even though you don't care about any about that stuff.
Yeah, it's art.
Okay. I'm shocked. You gave me shit for being a romantic and liking a love story, but I'm shocked that you allow these breakup songs to get to you.
No, because R&B music is what I grew up on. Well, rap, of course, but R&B is what I grew up on, and so I'm a bigger R&B fan than anything else. So it's an essential R&B song, but sonically it sounds like now. That's why I like it. Okay. And then once again, the type of women that
So you really only listen to it to be like, hey, have you heard that new Lucky Day?
No, because they don't. They don't listen to that. You got to understand, playlists and all that stuff is really made just for women, young people, and people in the gym. All right, just to get it going. But no, I don't, bruh. Yeah, but I'm saying, far as like the type of women I'm attracted to, they remind me of these songs, but they not are these songs. But they not these songs. Yeah,
that makes a little bit more sense. All right. And what about Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers? Because you were kind of out on Kendrick Lamar, but did this bring you back in?
I was never out. I just said he got to show up to work. He's got to clock in. But the album, as time has progressed, has gotten better.
I would say I thought at first you were just like, it's all right, but now it's grown in your estimation. Is it that thing too, where like what I told you about To Pimp a Butterfly, where like you just kind of have to sit with it and let it come to you?
Other than Damn, and it took me a minute to understand Damn, and that's kind of like, you know, straightforward. It took a minute for that to grow on me.
Do you think he makes another album?
They're already working on it, but we
probably
gonna get it for like the next 3 years. Yeah, well, but now it's
right? Like it's his thing to be like a director. Like everything has to be perfect. I guess he does come from that Dr. Dre school of like it has to be to a T the way I want it, right?
Well, then now he's doing his own thing as well, so he could take as much time as he needs to, and then creatively he can go any direction because PG Lang is his own thing. So it's like now the sky's the limit as far as what he wants to do. So it might actually come out sooner than that. It just depends on when he's ready. I mean, if it comes out another 3 years from now, that's fine. Like this one took 5 years to come out.
I think everyone knows what my album of the year is. We talked about it a few weeks ago. That was Drake and 21 Savage's Her Loss. I did enjoy Honestly Nevermind too. That's my run-up for album of the year. And Honestly Nevermind hit a lot harder after being dumped because at first it's just like, oh, this is again what people would be like, this is Drake's dance album or him trying to do house. Was the constant criticism about it, but he couldn't even do it properly is I think what the detractors would say. But it does have like the Falling Backs, Texaco Green, Liability, obviously, which is the companion to Jaded and Marvin's Room. I like Overdrive a lot. So Honestly Nevermind is good. And obviously it ends with Jimmy Cooks, which kind of is like the post-credit scene to start the next Marvel movie with Her Loss. And Her Loss kind of all the way through is 100% solid with me. There are kind of like no skips, even just the Drake solo songs. It doesn't have too many features. It does have the one Travis Scott feature, which again, he comes in just do the Travis Scott thing, which always pisses you off, where like the song becomes a Travis Scott song all of a sudden, even though it's something else entirely. But yeah, I think it's phenomenal. My song of the year is Wait For You by Drake, by a Future featuring Drake and featuring Thames as well. That's my song of the year. Just beautiful. I've lived that scenario. I'm living that scenario in a way. And I mean, I listened to that Future album all the way through that that first day was released, but that song just hits the most because, and I do like the other one, the I'm On one that they did together as well. But I think Wait For You is a lot better than I'm On one. And I enjoy Vince Staples as Ramona Park broke my heart. Every year, kind of Vince Staples drops something, and I'm into it. We discussed Vince Staples by Vince Staples last year. That had my favorite song of the year with Are You With That? My favorite song of this, I know everyone likes When Sparks Fly, and that is a great song, but I like Rose Street the best, to me personally. But it also has Lemonade with him and Ty Dolla $ign. I think that's great. And Free the Homies is great as well. And when I re-listened to it as a whole the other day, it might be his best project from start to finish. I think people said that about Vince Staples last year, that one was the best project because it was just him and Kenny Beats all the way through. I didn't like FM as much. I'm one of like the few people who likes like the first half of Ramona Park Broke My Heart. I mean, Summertime 06. And I do like Prima Donna, the EP he did. And I do like how Big Fish Theory sounds and like a lot of the big songs that like made it through the mainstream, like Back and Rain Come Down. But Vince Staples kind of always consistently puts out great music that I enjoy, ironically, which is like, I don't think the Vince Staples music is made for me, which is I think what he's talked about in the past, considering it's like subtext and all that.
I don't have a lot of to be clear, also I don't do like a lot of those deep dive reviews and When I just like music, I just like it.
Yeah.
Some people,
Same.
dedicate their whole podcast to doing that. 3 hours of just this sample, and I don't care about none of that. This is good. All right. That's how I go with music and everything in general. Just it's good. Let's keep it pushing. I don't really have no breakdown, so I agree with you.
I thought you liked Dawn FM because I loved Dawn FM when it came out. But like, what do you think of Dawn FM?
That's probably my favorite album by him. It hit different when you in the Bay because we played it when we was in the Bay, and it hit different.
And that's what we discussed at the top of the year because it dropped right at the start of the year, and just kind of had the whole year to sit with it. And again, there's Out of Time. There's the great part of shit, what's the song before it that leads into Take My Breath Away? But that part where like
I'm tripping. I'm thinking about Vince Staples album. My fault.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm thinking about the radio album.
But you didn't like The Weeknd's Dawn FM?
No. But I'm tripping. I got that confused.
Yeah, you talking about with FM, but I just mentioned that's the one Vince Staples project I really don't like.
Yeah, no, that one hit different when you in the Bay. So maybe you need to go home and play that. But as far as Dawn FM, that came out, I think the same week as Gunna album. And I keep forgetting that Gunna album came out because it was 20, 30 songs. And I'm like, all right, bro. But Dawn FM was, because it was cold around that time. Yeah, that was a good album. Like, it was literally cold out. So it was a great album to play in the cold. And then obviously Sacrifice was on the WrestleMania soundtrack. Yeah.
The irony. After he had back-to-back WrestleManias with Blinding Lights and what was the other? Because he had two different songs. It was Blinding Lights for 2020, and they chose a different song for 2021. But it was like they picked 3 weekend songs for 3 straight years. But again, this is his follow-up to After Hours. I enjoyed After Hours when we did the Best of 2020, which featured Chris Ann from Black Announce Table. But he didn't drop anything last year, was the thing, because he was prepping for Dawn FM. And he kind of hinted that when he was still going on his whole run for After Hours because he couldn't go on tour, but he performed at the Super Bowl.
Bro, they pushed that tour like 2 or 3 times too.
Yeah. And now again, he'll be the star of an HBO TV show in the coming weeks or months. But Dawn FM, again, it's great. And the only part I dislike is the Jim Carrey like interludes. I know Jim Carrey's your guy, but him being... I don't like Jim Carrey as a radio host doing his thing. I know that he wanted to do like the theme of like, this is a fictional radio station and all that, but I don't think it's worked as well as he thought it did.
Especially when it transitioned. I'm falling up in rain. Yeah, that was fire.
Yeah, but no, I do. It's probably my second favorite album of the year. And Blink-182 came back with a song this year. They came back together is what I should say. The song Edging, which is great, but then when announcing that the original, but the prominent trio of Mark Hoppus, Tom DeLonge, and Travis Barker getting back together, going on tour, working on a new album, they dropped this song in a great trailer to say that they're back, and it's kind of them, 40 plus years old, still being these, guys from San Diego who are into like fart jokes and sex and guys who are adults but want to be kids again, which is the whole point of Blink-182. But I enjoyed the song, and hopefully the album's just as good. And I liked Anita's Boys Don't Cry, which is a typical pop song. Last year I liked SZA and Doja Cat's Kiss Me More.
That song is phenomenal. And also, SZA got my favorite song this year too.
I was going to say, you didn't talk about the SZA album or anything relating to it.
It was too long, and then, like I said before, we talked about it off air the other night. I don't like the whole Taylor Swift acoustic guitar. I felt like the label made her do some of that stuff on there. A lot of these songs are probably old. Definitely, I Hate You and Good Days are old, but too many songs. But Blind is probably my song of the year because it works in so many different ways in my life.
But again, I'm always in the pop music. I also like Olivia Rodrigo's Deja Vu, but Anita's Boys Don't Cry. Everyone knows Anita because she's that fine Brazilian woman who's on stage wearing like the assless chaps.
Last week,
yeah. But this song is just a basic generic pop song that I really enjoy. It's got a good video too, so I recommend that. And that's it for music. And now we'll get into the stuff that doesn't really fit into a category, the miscellaneous stuff of the year. Do you have anything that's like sports or podcast or comedy?
No. No. The only good thing was Dallas. Like, let me get that out the way right now.
I got a few things. I got shout, and this is me kind of doing the Banks thing of plugging people that we love and respect. But the Black Variant's Secret Files episode 6, which is the infamous episode featuring our guy Big Team.
One of the funniest things ever.
In which X and Van detail their wrestling history as children, teenagers, and most importantly, adults. Working matches as adults, as our guy Van just sits there and is flummoxed by the fact that these two grown-ass men, because if you see Big Team and you see X, like, they're like men.
Yeah,
And they're having Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn style matches. Then they tell a great story about them at a family function. You know, just the least responsible people on earth are these two guys from Chicago. And shout out to Black Variant. Make sure you subscribe to their podcast on Apple, Spotify, and their Patreon, because that's the only way you can hear this phenomenal episode. And they had us at the start of 2022 on the Patreon, and that was a great episode. I always enjoy chopping up with them, and we were on their the regular show as well.
July.
No, it was right after we. It was would have been the end. I think it would have been August, because we technically broke up in July. It was like 2 weeks later, so I think it's like the first week of August, maybe.
Once again, bro, it's just, for the most part, it's a blur. 2020,
and that's when X said my favorite, my favorite thing of the year, in terms of what was our favorite Phase 4 MCU projects, and he had a different name for Falcon and Winter Soldier that I cannot say, but it was the funniest thing I laughed at all year.
I'm trying to remember what he said. I gotta.
He said something. He called him a. I can't say it. It's yeah, but it's hilarious. But shout out to them. We'll have them on again in a few weeks, in a few months, hopefully. But we just had Van on to talk about Black Adam, but we need X and Van to stop by on the regular show and our Patreon as well to shout. Maybe for maybe for something, we'll see it. But shout out to them. That was a great episode. I also have another Banks type plug, Random Acts of Podcast, episode 406. That's my ho-to. What's famous about this episode, Banks?
402.
406. That's my ho-to. What's the key takeaway from this episode?
Let me see. Is that the is that the Saucy Santana Bane?
No, that is a great episode though. I did like when shout out to Joe when he does he can break my back. Like, I hate to see him go. 406 is you on the cover talking about you, the movie you were in.
Oh, okay. I figured. I had to look it up just now. Yeah. Jesus Christ. That was just I was listening to this at work, and I couldn't keep it together. Like, I was dying. Shout out to Amp. He stopped by this year. Joe stopped by this year too. Make sure you follow Plug with the Rug on IG. Make sure you're checking out Random Acts Podcast on Patreon and YouTube. All of that. Shout out to Amp and Joe for doing the good work. I will say though, the podcasts have held me down. I'll say that in Dallas. That's it. That's it. Let me say that.
But I enjoyed the three of y'all. The chemistry that y'all three have together, and that episode was just again phenomenal. But the Saucy Santana as Bane was a good one. Let me see where some other ones. Because I think I put a playlist of episodes that I was like,
yeah, Ken, I was in a movie. I'll put the link in the chat for that episode.
Oh, the episode where it's a delivered man, I should say.
Yeah,
that was good from this year. Yeah, I enjoyed those ones. And the one that I think where it's just you and Amp, which is Off the Honey Pack, that was a good episode.
That was in
this year.
September or October.
It was August 17th. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But I got to try to get on, not that I try to force myself on pod, but I try to get on it. I said this before, the four of us got to get together for something.
I mean, that's not a problem. That's light work.
But yeah, I mean, Saucy Santana as Bane is still one of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard. Also on my miscellaneous list is Michael Bay on this YouTube channel, which is Combini, and this is when they get directors to come into a French video store and talk about their career or their favorite movies. And this is when Michael Bay was promoting Ambulance, and he speaks about making Bad Boys and Will Smith and Martin Lawrence. He speaks about making The Rock and how Sean Connery just called him boy on set. Good job, boy. Good job. And then and then when the Disney execs show up to like say like you're over budget, Sean Connery defends him. He's like, listen, this boy is doing a phenomenal job and we need more fucking money. And then like the execs like gave them the money because they were over scheduled. So and this is where I posted this clip earlier in the year. He talks about Fast 9 because the guy's like, what do you think about Fast and Furious 9? He's like, and he outright is like, I haven't seen this one. So I don't know what to say about it. And when
didn't he say something along the lines of they stole something from?
He says like, but you can tell like a lot of the movies they are influenced by my style with the way they cut and all of that. And I'm just like, Michael Bay says they stole my whole fucking flow.
Is he lying?
But he's right because he says with Ambulance, he's like, I have a whole bunch of drone shots in this film that a lot of people are going to steal. And that's why Ambulance is pretty bad. Because like this drone shit, like after like the 6th time, like, can you stop, please? Because this is fucking driving. And then the Gray Man does it every time they go to a new city. And it's the same thing. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you guys? Like, stop using these fucking drones. But he speaks about Speed because the guy's like, Speed seems like has a connection to Ambulance. He's like, I was up for this film and I didn't get it, and Jan de Bont got the film. And it's like, and like an asshole because that's why Michael Bay's like, but where's Jan de Bont now? And it's like, geez, let that man live, because Michael Bay's still out here making movies, and Jan de Bont isn't. But I'd recommend it. I think it's 20 minutes on I'll share the video again, but it's great again just to hear him be like, I haven't seen Fast and Furious 9, but they stole a lot of what I've been doing the last couple of years. And he talks about seeing he worked at Lucasfilm. And he was hearing Steven Spielberg's making a new movie, and it turned out to be the first Indiana Jones film. He's like, "Oh, this looks terrible." Like, and he was telling his friends this.
By the way, everybody, it's just funny to rehear it again.
No, because I rewatched it because I'm like, to make sure, like, this is just as great. He's like, and he ended up seeing Indiana Jones be like, "Wow, I was wrong because this is amazing."
Yeah, you never know how it's gonna turn out until post happens. So
yeah.
Kind of jumping
another thing is the Buster and TJ podcast, which is an Adult Swim small, and that's the famous clip that we constantly see on Twitter about the two like what's the guy from Foster's Home from Imaginary Friends, the blue guy?
I've never seen that show, but I think I know what you're talking about.
But you know what I mean, like how he's just like a typical like he's a blue ghost type drawing.
Yeah.
These Adult Swim smalls are kind of drawn the same way. This is the clip of the guy, the controversial black man on a podcast with the men eat steak, women eat salad. Like that's where that comes from. But the whole video is good because it gets why podcasting is like a horrible thing for people to do. Mm-hmm. But there are some great jokes in it. Like, this is my first podcast. It's the only podcast that matters. Check out my podcast. It's just like, wow, it's great as like a satire on podcasting because he's like, do you remember that one place we went to? And he's like, yeah, that one place, right? He's like, yeah, and it had doors and shit. Oh man, don't talk to me about it. It's like it just mocks podcast, like those type of podcasts that we don't do, but you know, the ones that you like to criticize because like that's not what a podcast is supposed to be. But it ends with a famous clip of like, I want to watch football games, like as the guy just gets angry. Yeah, and then the Video Archives podcast, which is the podcast that Quentin Tarantino started this year. It's him and his longtime friend and the guy who co-wrote Pulp Fiction with him, Roger Avery. It's them breaking down old films at the video store they used to work at, the actual Video Archives store. Like they have the actual VHS tapes and are watching these movies and commenting on them today. And I recommend that if you're into Tarantino or into film podcasts, because my favorite film podcast is The Big Picture on The Ringer and The Rewatchables. So shout out those two podcasts. So I always listen, and The Laps Fan, that's the wrestling podcast I always shout out. I always listen to those three podcasts constantly when I'm at work. So I'm always hyped whenever they have new episodes or episodes I want to run back. And for sports, it's how the Niners started the year with the 3 week win streak by beating the Rams in week 17. Well, technically week 18, I think, right? To make it into the playoffs. Then they beat the Dallas Cowboys in Dallas, which we potted right after. You, me, my guy Black John Stud, and the one and only fam. And then they beat Aaron Rodgers the next week, which I was just hilarious for purposes of me and Dot, because Dot was just so pissed that they blew it in the snow after it was like the worst football game ever played, because no one could score or catch or do anything for the life of them. But the Niners, they are able to block a punt and score and then drive down the field and kick a field goal in the fucking frozen tundra of Green Bay to win the game. And unfortunately, they ended up blowing the NFC title game the next week against the Rams. Fuck you, Antonio. The Rams shouldn't have won that Super Bowl. Matthew Stafford is still a fraud. But yeah.
I think I'm Baker Mayfield over there now.
Yeah, exactly. But imagine Baker Mayfield being your savior. Shit.
Right. Your backup.
And the Niners this year have been, again, like they were last year, like a rocky team full of drama. Trey Lance goes down week 2. Jimmy G comes back in to be the savior, but Jimmy G still shows those Jimmy G traits of 2 touchdowns one game. Then he'll get a safety the next game, and then he'll come back again and throw 4 touchdowns. No touchdowns, and the team will still win. We got Deebo Samuel, George Kittle. We traded for Christian McCaffrey. That worked out. And then the last month and a half with the whole Brock Purdy thing, insanity, but with football is what Brock Purdy is. And who knows how long it'll survive, because Linsanity was just that 1 month until Carmelo Anthony came back. But Nick Bosa, again, I'm rooting for a white supremacist basically, but he's a hell of a football player, so I can't help it. But I think we're going to win the Super Bowl this year. I've been telling John that the last 4 weeks that we're winning it because we got God on our side.
Oh, but yeah, when I told you that at the beginning of the season, you was like,
you told me at the start of the season because you told me that when Trey Lance was supposed to be at that. I'm like Trey Lance isn't going to be a good football player.
And this before y'all got Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
So now y'all got Christian McCaffrey
and Brandon Ayuk, because Brandon Ayuk is a great number 2 wide receiver for us.
Yeah. I still got y'all winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah, because like I told you, I think the Eagles are either going to lose in the Super Bowl or lose in the playoffs. Y'all are going to lose in the playoffs, like always. Yeah. I don't think the Vikings are for real. I'm not just saying that because I live here, but like it's the Vikings.
They never been for real.
It's Kirk Cousins, yeah. And then the AFC is tough because it's either going to be Buffalo and Kansas City. And Kansas City kicked the shit out of us this year, and they were just a dangerous team because it's Pat Mahomes. Like,
I'm going with Kansas. They retooled everything. That was a good thing that came out because they lost Tyreek Hill, and everybody was like, "Well,
how do you do that?"
Yeah, they're gonna keep on throwing Travis Kelce. Yeah, it's kind of worked out. And I think Pat Mahomes, boy, is looking like the MVP again this year. I understand, they got that quarterback, Jalen Hurts. I know. Oh, that's so sweet. No, it's Pat Mahomes, boy.
What up, my homie?
Yeah, it's Pat Mahomes. He about to be MVP, and I got, that'd be crazy, though, to see that 3 years later, before the pandemic, to see the 49ers versus the Chiefs in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and this time it's brought. Do you think is that how we end the pandemic for good? We are.
Not if the Chiefs win. That's how I got started.
That's what I'm saying. Like the Niners, the redemption again with Brock, the new Tim Tebow, Brock Purdy, cancel like being like Idris Elba in Pacific Rim. We are canceling the apocalypse by like the 49ers beating the Chiefs in the Super Bowl.
If that happens, it'll make AEW fun in March. I know that because the city will still have that energy. They're gonna be
in Jacksonville this year.
I don't know where it's at.
Oh! You're
saying AEW. AEW gonna be in the Bay.
You're saying March because the Bay will still be lit because they'll be celebrating.
Yeah,
I'm still pissed. I never went to the 3 giant. Well, I mean, I couldn't go to one of the Giants parades because I was living here, but the 2 giant parades for the World Series in 2010 and 2012. My mom said when I got home from the one in 2010 from school, when the one in 2010 happened, that I could have gone to the parade if I had asked. But I'm like, you tell me that now when it's over? I was like so mad. Like, she's like, oh, I should have let you go. And I'm like, no shit, you should have let me go. Like,
I've been to a Laker parade. That's like a riot.
Oh yeah, they
I was a teenager. Yeah, there was a riot. It was a lot of black and brown relations going on as far as violence. It was a lot of insanity in the crowd. But y'all want to celebrate that team. Okay. You can't have anything in LA because people don't know how to act.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. That's all I had on my list. But nothing for you sports wise this year. For best of the year.
The Warriors win championship was pretty good because I didn't really expect that to happen. And then the way it happened, and then the way they won, and Steph Curry was like, "Yeah, this is my favorite championship," just because he got it without, with all the scrutiny over the past couple of years, from them being a lot of team to, them winning against the Celtics team, who was the best team in the NBA right now, as far as record wise, and probably overall. That's it. Like otherwise than that, man,
Nothing boxing.
No, it wasn't a lot of good boxing moments. Yeah, it wasn't a lot of good boxing moments either. It's just Clarissa Shields winning another title, and she's won the most titles than anybody in boxing history, like in so many different weight classes, as far as like women and men and women. She's won so many championships in different weight classes. So her winning solidify herself probably as the greatest women's boxer of all time. She was trying to fight Layla Ali, but that ain't gonna happen. Layla Ali is up there in age, and
I was about to say, wait, like the Layla Ali?
Yeah, she was trying to fight her, but it's about 20 years or so too late. And then besides that,
yeah, I was about to say.
So Clarissa kind of has some, as far as that greatest women's fighter of all time. She kind of run away with it at this point. She's not my favorite, women's boxer. Oh, that's the mergers of, the greatest boxer on the planet, Alicia.
And I was about to say, speak on it.
If y'all don't watch boxing, y'all might want to now. But when I tell y'all #great woman, that is a #great woman.
What do you think of fine women that are fighters, like UFC fighters or boxing? Like, is that something you're into? Because I was about to say.
Ain't too many I find attractive, but her, yeah, she need to go ahead. She fine, boy. I like to jab with her.
And on that note, I think we should. Like you said, again, 2022 was a shitty year personally for both of us, but there was some good pop culture stuff in it, as we just discussed. I don't think it was as good as 2021, maybe, right?
Nothing was good as 2021 or 2020. The good old days.
2020 we had 2020 we had The Last Dance, and
we had everything, sir. We had entertainment.
Not really.
Basketball came back.
We entertained each other is what we did in 2020, and
that was beautiful. Then when basketball came back, we got basketball when it was colder and everybody was under a dome, so they was balling. The good old days.
Oh my god!
We had money. We had a lot of liquor.
We had cars.
I felt like a pirate back then. Where's the rum?
Oh my god! Where's the rum gone?
Where's the rum gone? It makes men become evil. But why is the rum
even
gone?
The nicest men become the disgusting. But no, what are you looking forward to the most in 2023?
Not going through the same that I went through in 2022.
Say a word, son. Say a word.
Boy, no, I'm making adjustments already. No, sir. I call mercy. No, sir.
No. The buffet is closed. No.
Not going to be able to do.
That was actually my other favorite thing of 2023 was the downfall of Dwayne Johnson.
It wasn't no downfall. He about to get in the ring. Everybody, hooray, he's back.
No, that's going to be the downfall, because when this man is cooked, when like Roman Reigns is looking at this man like, oh God.
No, he going to take the other Hollywood diet. Not this, but this. Yeah. No, not that. This.
Why are we doing baseball signals like?
Because I don't want them to tap into this, but yeah, he got to take that. He got to get the rejuvenation.
Was there anything wrestling wise that was the best of the year to you? I know we kind of discussed this on Keek's show.
Except for Forbidden Door, not really. Like, WrestleMania with Jackass versus Sami Zayn was hilarious.
Oh, that was when Wee Man doing the body slam to Sami Zayn. Yeah,
I'll pop for that. Stone Cold going again. Stone Cold Stunner and Vince McMahon on night 2. And
now, you mean the worst? When shout out to Cody Dre, him and I will be doing worst of the year for Black Announce Table on their Patreon. That's definitely going to be on there. That man, like crumbling like that, like
that had the whole house in hysterics.
Yeah,
he couldn't stand up.
It's still watching wrestling with your friends.
Vince leaving WWE, I think was bad. That's on my worst of the year too. So, well, that's a long list, but Vince leaving WWE, I think is horrible because it's showing right now. Come back, Vince. You feel me? I understand you want to pay for Coochie, but you could have got it for cheap. Come back and save the company because it's about to get bad this year. It's about to get worse actually this year. That's probably it. Jay White winning the title.
Yeah, finally.
Yeah, he won the title.
Not finally. He had won it prior, but him winning it again against Okada.
And cutting one of the greatest promos I've ever seen ever.
Oh, the clapping promo I shared?
Yeah, say something. Say something. That was kind of racial, though, at the same time.
Oh, he's...
Say something.
Right. Like, unfortunately, when we talk about Wrestle Kingdom next week on White Noise, I think we will have Kazuchika Okada as our new IWGP World Heavyweight Champion because they're doing a lot with this Okada being the living legacy of the late Antonio Inoki. I don't see Jay White walking out of Wrestle Kingdom still champion.
Right, because they really like to put the babyface over.
Yeah, I'm trying to think like what's the heel that's won. Yeah, like what's the heel that's won at Wrestle Kingdom? Like even though I haven't been
gonna be glorious
as the main event.
Yeah, the confetti gonna come down.
Obviously, but it will be glorious because his knees gonna be ready to go. Obviously, Jay White does wrestle a good, slow, cerebral style that Okada doesn't have to keep up, like how he does against like the Kenny Omegas with the Will Ospreys. But even though Will Ospreay does want to slow his work down, and I'm looking forward to that match. I know you aren't, Omega Ospreay.
Ocean Spray, yeah.
And also the potential appearance of one Mercedes Renato, your favorite female wrestler of all time.
I don't give a damn. Yeah,
so
there
you
go.
Can find it.
Great.
That's great. Yeah. But that's where you'll find us next week on Patreon. But next week, we'll be here live. I don't know what we'll be talking about. We'll be talking about stuff like we have been the last 2 years. A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
I might let y'all know something ahead of time. I got some breaking news that Davis don't even know. Breaking news, hey. I might be taking 2 weeks off. Y'all might be seeing.
Even then, yeah. Subscribe to the Patreon. Run back the archives. I had some great guests in 2022. Shout out to Semp, Mimi, Keeks, Amp, Joe. Like I said, my dad. My dad was on 2 episodes this past year. I know that was your favorite thing about 2022 was
actually I might need him to replace me.
God, it would just be me talking like, and he would just be like, nope.
Exactly.
He'd look at me like, what the fuck are you talking about? Do you want to just do you want to take a break until the Fast X trailer drops so that way we'll have something good to talk about?
We'll talk about it off air, but if y'all don't see me for 2 weeks, that means
all right. Here's what makes it saying. This might be my last game. I'm done.
Yeah, just because why not, man? Y'all get tired of hearing me. And besides that, I ain't took a break in 2 years, bro. Like, come on, let me get a break, yo. And so I can come back and not sound like I got CTE all the time.
Oh, I felt like all month I've been podcasting like I've been punched in the face 20 times before recording. Like,
yeah, no, bro.
That's why, like, on Thursday, I was just like so tired I didn't talk at all, and that's why I'm just like, and every time I talk, I feel like so that's what's happened. What happened? What? I already am like that in the terms of, like, the Dave Meltzer verse of like stutter and mutter and prick of like I'm talking over what I'm trying to say and think at the same time. I don't know if that's just again a California thing where he and I are just like we're trying to overthink and speak at the same time. But yeah, that's why rest is needed. This is my 4th day of podcasting in a row. It's your 1,800th day. So
that's what I was saying. I'm like last night I was cutting a promo with somebody. I'm like,
shut up, Banks. I'm talking.
But yeah, it's been a while, y'all.
What was What was your favorite moment that we did on the show this year? Favorite episode? The live in person show. The only person we've done. The only show we've done in person.
Yeah, it was loud in the background, but it was nice.
That's when you and Fam, in a way, and Eve started the what kind of woman I'm going to marry, right?
I think so. Yeah, that had to be the same day.
In terms of the ethnicity of what woman I'll be marrying, I think you and Eve, and I think you and Fam said a black woman. I think Eve said an Asian woman. He's like, because white men always go after Asian women. I'm like,
we both said that, so yeah.
But that was good. We did have someone up in audience. Again, my favorite moment was obviously the clip I use all the time. That's me no-selling you about Tyler Perry being the director of Fast X, because as you say, you get mad when I no-sell you, but you say some ridiculous shit. But that was the best, like the chemistry we have. Again, like I'm seeing that Rainmaker coming, so I'm hitting you with Destino, pal. Like, come on.
That's crazy. You still remember that, or
What?
still talk about that? You still do be talking about that. I'm like the Tyler Perry thing.
It was a good moment for us. For 20 seconds, I looked at you and didn't say a damn thing, and you looked at me and were like, "All right, let's go, pal." Like, come on.
Yeah, because it was just like, all right, bro. It's kind of like dead air for too long.
Yeah. Well, we also had Cal stop by this year. That was dope. When we talked about that's crazy. We talked about the Oscars right before the Will Smith slap. The crazy thing about that, right?
Yeah,
about why the Oscars
one of the greatest works of all time.
We're not going to get into that conspiracy theory right now, but yeah.
We might around Oscar season. Yeah, let's go back to that.
Do you want to break it down like game film? Because remember, I told you the angle looked like it was a stage slap, but then when they show it from the other side, it looks authentic.
Yeah, but Cat Williams said, "Of course it was stage. Why in Hollywood?"
He slapped him like a bitch. You think he would slap him like that if he didn't mean to slap him? Shit, someone slapped him like that. I got a problem with that.
And Cat Williams one of the people I believe just because they out their mind, so I believe it to be true. Cat said that.
All right, but is there anything else you want to talk about before we finish? We had Vince stop by. Again, who else? Let me just make sure I'm.
Black Barry, we done had Vin, we done had Random X, we've had we haven't had Eve. Oh yeah, Eve came by.
Oh, Eve did at the last second to talk about. He was like, he saw Wakanda Forever. Was like, "Yo, we talking about this shit? This be entertaining to y'all?" He was just like, which is the only thing like Eve was really does like, because he did it today about Pro Wrestling Noah. Like, y'all like this shit? This shit is terrible.
Well, he's a WWE fanatic. He wanted to see
I know. Oh, we had shout out to a good woman, Ciendel. She stopped by. Shout out to her.
Yeah, absolutely. To the queen.
Oh, Kung Fu Eddie. You and him had a few episodes together. Shout out to Eddie.
We ain't had Chris Sand on yet.
Not this year, unfortunately. And again, we gotta get all three members of Black Announce Table on the show this year.
Say the word.
Well, you're the booker, man. Shit. You had a DJ Lee. A few episodes too. Shout out to him.
You said who?
And that was pretty good. DJ Lee. I always call him his Twitter name.
Oh yeah, DJ. Shouts out to DJ, the young fella.
That's what I hate about Twitter, to be honest. Like, I know this isn't your real name, so I got to call it by it because, like, it's the only thing I know to say.
Yeah, but at least you try to find people real names. Everybody just cool with being behind the Abbey and just calling them.
This is the thing where like people will say like people. That's why I had that whole thing. Like, am I Drip or Davis? Because you always call me Davis as you should. But like even like someone like Eve will still call me Davis. That guy Greg calls me. Even though I would just call him Greg, but like Greg calls me Davis. But like other people will still call me Drip. I'm like, you know my name.
I'm not calling no grown man Drip, bro.
You did. You did on Monday on accident on a not this past Monday, but rest of the year with Keeks. I think you said Drip on accident. You were like, did I just say that this dude just did this? Like,
I was in hysterics that whole episode, so I probably did.
Because FTR is our tag team of the year.
No, the whole show was just hilarious with your ad libs, the white man ad libs. Oh my god, I told her I was playing it up. I agreed 100% with all her decisions because she did a great job. I don't agree with the FTR decision.
No, I do because they did all the bullshit. Again, even though it's all outside of AEW technically, and like no team really had a longer run had a long enough run to be like tag champs for it to like overpass what FTR. It's cheat codes what FTR did to be tag team of the year.
Yeah,
because technically they are an AEW tag team, but they went to Mexico. They went to New Japan, or they came to them, I should say. It was like performance enhanced, season by then. But I always try to play, even though I don't try to be performative on podcasts, I do play it up sometimes, is what I'll say.
You have to.
Because it is me, but I'll just like amplify it. Because when someone does, it's like, again, you'll say crazy shit, and that's all just like.
Right, because I say it often.
Yeah. But and we'll be on All Evil Geeks tomorrow, so.
Yeah, make sure y'all subscribe Public Enemies podcast. Make sure to subscribe.
We got to get the three of them together on the show at some point this year. I know. Shout out to CJ. He just hit me up about like you mentioned. He's got a Patreon show. Ben's got a Patreon show. Graham.
They came out the gate with their Patreon. They got stuff to drop almost every day.
Well, so. that's what we were trying to do. Yeah, and we'll get back to that after Banks has his break and get back at it. But again, the Patreon is so we can do content like the watch alongs and commentaries, stuff that's easier to do without copyright claims and all that. So it's only $5 if you want to support the show. Again, it's all going back into the show. We appreciate it. So again, we appreciate all our patrons, all our subscribers. Again, we passed 300 in 2020. That was amazing. We had said that as like a goal to do, and we actually did it. I didn't think it would happen, but it did. But that's because you do the amazing work with the shorts. Even though I do try to cut some clips myself, but again, we try to do consistently.
Anytime you do
Sunday.
something, send it to me. I'll post them because you know why? We don't need social media in 2023. All you need is YouTube Shorts. Social media is used for people to be nosy and not support. Your key to podcast or any type of material you do is YouTube Shorts and TikTok. That's why I refuse to post anything I do anymore. Or I don't care. Because all y'all want to do is just critique what I do. Criticize.
All I ever hear from y'all is criticize. Don't ask me a mile for nothing.
So that's why I refuse to
That's how we'll end this episode. Don't ask Swanks for nothing. Don't ask me for nothing. We'll see y'all next week. Maybe. Peace.